Welcome, everyone, and congratulations on taking your first step toward mastering the fundamental principles that govern the laws of building a cash cow out of your network marketing business. Your featured speaker is one of the most powerful speakers and trainers in the network marketing industry. He has taught thousands of people, just like you, to create a picture of success and turn that picture into reality using the techniques and approaches you are about to learn. Holton is among the top 5 income earners in the company and was voted Man of the Year in 2002 and 2003 by his peers. He is a platinum executive and one of the top 10 distributors who serve on the Corporate Leadership Council. Take out a pen and notepad and prepare to learn from one of the best in the network marketing industry, Mr. Holton Buzz.
All right, Happy New Year's, everybody. How y'all doing today? Everybody excited for an incredible 2004? Yeah. How many people is this year going to be your year? Yeah. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. How many of y'all are going to be able to get rid of and fire your boss this year? Yeah. How many of y'all ever thought about having some plastic surgery this year? All the ladies raise their hand. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taking out those credit cards and being able to cut those suckers in half. That's what I'm talking about, plastic surgery. But I tell you guys, it's very exciting to be here. I'll tell you, 2004 is going to be absolutely incredible. There's a lot of things that are in motion right now, and it's not just because it's a new year. I know a lot of people set New Year's resolutions, and I'm not one of those New Year's resolutions type of people, because most people set them, and for the first 10 or 15 days, or first 7 days, most people are on track. And then the rest of the 350-something days, they're kind of like off track. And but we're not going to do that this year. I don't believe in that. I just believe in making a decision. Whether it's at the beginning of the year, whether it's at the middle of the year, whenever it is time for you to make a decision to move on, that's when the decision actually starts. That's when you start to resolve to get the dreams and goals that you're looking for. This year is going to be absolutely incredible. There's a lot of things that we have in store this year that's just going to skyrocket your business. The thing that I'm most excited about is not only, like I say, the new year, but there's right now just a sense of momentum that's all around this business right now. I mean, the company is just growing like by leaps and bounds. The system that we have in place right now is absolutely incredible. And what my goal is today is just to share with you some information of how you can kickstart your business, not just for the year 2004, but how many of you right now are really ready to make a decision to move forward and get the dreams and goals that you're looking for in this business? Yeah. And that's every single person in here. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, the key thing is this here. I definitely advise you to take some notes, because you're probably only retain about 15% of what I say if you don't take notes. Let me give you one rule of thumb. Anytime somebody is ever talking or speaking who makes more money than you, or the money that you desire to make, you should always have a notepad and a pen, and if at all possible, have a tape recorder. I can tell you guys, I grew up in the business just walking around the successful people, just listening to what they had to say, and I'd have a tape recorder. If they were going to say something, I had a tape recorder there, because there was just a little small nuggets that I was able to harvest, and I was able to take that stuff, and when everybody else is asleep, guess what I was listening to? I was listening to the real stuff that they got. And that made the difference between where I am now and where a lot of other people who weren't taking notes, guess where they are? Still not taking notes. Still not living their dreams. Still working for somebody else. Still doing the things that they don't want to do for the people that they don't want to do them for, and for the amount of money that they don't like. And so what I wanted to do was I just wanted to make myself just a little bit better in every single area than all of the other competition. Now, I'm not saying that your peers here are competitors, but guys, let's face it. In this industry of network marketing, there's 35 million distributors in the industry of network marketing right now. 35 million distributors worldwide. And the statistics are this: less than 3% of those people make over $100,000 a year. Less than 3% make over $100,000 per year. Why is that? If there's over $30 billion of revenue being generated in the industry of network marketing on an annual basis. So, guys, there's a lot of money out there. This industry is just a baby right now. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, we'll be talking about this industry doing $200-300 billion. We'll be talking about companies that will be doing in excess of $50 billion in annual sales. And we're just a baby right now. but only 3% of those people make over a six-figure income. Why is that? Are the 3% of the people not educated? I mean, are the 97% of the people not educated? No. Are the 97% of the people not out there showing the plan? No. Are the 97% of the people, lazy? No. It's just that the 3% do all of the things that are necessary to do the business a little bit better and are a little bit more consistent and are a little bit more focused and pay a little bit more attention to detail than the other 97%. That's what makes the big difference. Most people think that, the income, if you fall in the ballpark of the same work habits as millionaires, that you'll kind of, make $500,000. No. Guys, you got to do 100% of the deal. You got to do 100% of the deal, but you got to just be that much better than the other people. And this is what I find. And I always go walk into a room and I look around. And the first thing I do is I always look up front to see who's up front, because typically your leaders are up front. And then you know what else I do? I'll pay attention to what everybody else is doing, and I do the exact opposite. You know why? Because 97% of the people in this industry don't make a six-figure income. Why would I look around and do the things that 97% of people are doing? You walk into any room that a person not tells you, if they don't tell you to start taking notes, I guarantee you, you'll find 97% of people not taking notes. And so guess what? By you taking notes, you put yourself in that top 3%. And just by putting yourself in that top 3%, you put yourself in the category of doing the things that successful people do to bring about results that they're looking for. And so just pay attention. Just pay attention to dress. Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to posture. Pay attention to how people speak, how they actually talk, how they introduce themselves. Find the 3%ers that are already in the business and model those 3%ers. And so that's just what I'll start off in terms of what I call my little tip for how you can be successful in the year 2004. And not only in 2004, but every other year that you want to be successful in this industry here. It's going to be absolutely incredible, rocking year. Guys, today we're going to have a lot of fun. Y'all agree? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Now, a couple things I want to set the stage on today, and I want to just tell you, most of you know my story. 4 years ago, we were $250,000 in debt. Had no money. Credit cards were maxed out. Just didn't have any money. That's where we were. And we still had a dream, we still had desires, and we figured out a way through this industry of network marketing actually just a couple of years later, completely debt-free, except our house, and owned our vehicles and things of that nature. And now things are just absolutely rocking. I mean, things are just going absolutely fantastic. Our income is going up by the week. Our groups are growing every single day. There's thousands of people right now, every single week, looking to get in our business. And that's something that we confessed a long time ago. But I'll tell you one of the things is this here. It wouldn't have happened if we didn't have a desire. Because all of success in your 2004 is going to happen with your desire. I was talking to a group of people the other day, and I said that, you don't get what you want in this business. How many of you really believe that you really, before today, thought that you got what you want? Or that you could get what you want? No, you only get what you picture. You only get what you picture. How many of you last year wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before wanted a six-figure income? Now, how many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted to be retired? You follow what I'm saying? And so what we find is this: 90% of the people, they want all of these things. They want this, they want that, they want this, they want that. They want a six-figure income. They want a huge organization. They want money in the bank. They want retirement. They want this beautiful home. They want this beautiful car. And they find themselves doing the same exact thing week after week after week after week after week, year after year after year after year. And guess what? Your goal was to want it. And guess what? A year later, you got your goal. You still want it. You only get what you picture. And so the imagination in this dream box up here is the catalyst to your six-figure or to your seven-figure income. Whatever it is that you want. I'm not here to guarantee your income, but this dream box up here, this machine up here, this multi-trillion-dollar computer is the catalyst to you getting the things in life that you want. And I find so many people, what they want to do is work on the technical aspect of the business, which is great. Technicalities and the knowledge, that's wonderful. But I'll tell you guys, if you can imagine it, if you can dream it, you can have it. Because when you start to dream it, when you start to imagine it, when you start to picture yourself having a six-figure income, when you start to picture yourself sitting at home at 10 o'clock in the morning instead of waking up to an alarm clock, when you start picturing yourself driving that car of your dreams or living in that home that you really want to live in, and you start picturing it, see, when you start to picture something, it happens almost every single minute, not every day, almost every single minute it's on your brain, subconsciously. And what happens is this, that subconscious mind, what it's going to do, it's going to find a way to make that reality come true. If you picture yourself not having success, if you picture yourself sick and tired of people not showing up, and I can find out what you picture by what you say. Oh, man, people not showing up, when I invite people. Well, we're going to talk about that process today and how you can get over that. I find people saying, people just not getting in. That's what they're picturing. See, you can't say something contradictory to what you picture, not consistently. And so you have to picture yourself having the success. You have to picture large numbers of people coming to your organization. You have to have a vivid picture of what it is that you really want. Now, how do we go ahead and what's the fuel to the business? The fuel to the business is your dream. It's how you're going to take that picture, what that picture is, and how you're going to manifest that picture into your material equivalent. That's what we're going to talk about just for a few minutes here, because that's the most important thing. And people hear me talk about it all the time. They hear me, man, he's on that dream tip again. Here he is dreaming. Man, I used to love coming to training, but every time he's going to make you dream, he's going to try to make you think you're successful. Duh. Isn't that the purpose of this day? I just want to know, how to pop an ad in the paper. I just want to know how to call this person, how to do that. Well, the how-to stuff is great, but I'll tell you this. When you have a dream, when you have a strong desire, you figure out all of that stuff, even without an upline, even without somebody directing you on what you need to do, because you have the desire strong enough. And so the first thing it is, if you want to be successful in this business, guys, is you have to develop several reasons why you want to build the business. The reason that some of us haven't moved along is because you don't have enough reasons why. And if you look at every area of the things that you do on a consistent basis, you have reasons why you do them. How many of you go to work consistently? Why? Because if you didn't go, they cut the paycheck. And if they cut the paycheck, you lose your house. If you lost your house, family matters wouldn't be so good. You lose your car if you didn't go. You lose your savings account. Your kids couldn't go to school. So you've got a lot of reasons why you consistently go to work and do things that you don't want to do. How many of you really right now, honestly, and this is not to bash your job, how many of you could find something else better to do with your 40 hours than to go and show up and warm a chair? Okay? Man, that's most of you. But there's a reason why you do it, and that's why you consistently do it. It's either out of fear or it's out of desire. Most people are motivated by fear of loss than the possibility of gain. We're motivated by fear of loss and the possibility of gain. And so what we've got to do, guys, is you got to find out what it is that you really want in this business. Decide what it is that you want. You have to make a decision. What is it that you want? And you have to dream it and you have to picture it every single minute of the day. I know this may sound kooky to some of you guys, and you may not have ever experienced this, but I'm just telling you, how I became successful. Remember, guys, 7 years I was in network marketing, never made any money. My biggest month was $500 in a month for 7 long years of network marketing. I never missed a meeting once, ever, in 7 years when I was in that first company. Ever. I never missed a meeting. If there was a meeting and I qualified, I was there. Did I have the money? No. But you know what? From the beginning, I pictured myself at the meetings, and so guess what? My picture made it possible for me to get there. Nothing ever came up. And guess what? I had the same experiences in my life that you have in your life, but I found a way not to ever miss a meeting. Now, did I make money? No. I'm going to tell you why. I never made money because I never pictured myself making money. I'm trying to shortcut your success because it took me 7 long years to figure this out. And I used to hear the speakers on stage talk about developing a dream, developing a why. You have to have plenty of reasons why. And I understood that stuff, and it sounded real good. And I always attached my dream to what the speaker's dream was. Speakers always talking about freedom and all of this stuff. I didn't understand what freedom was. How can you understand something that nobody's ever experienced in your life? You can't understand what freedom is. But I said that I wanted it, but I couldn't picture freedom. I couldn't picture being a multimillionaire. I didn't know any. Didn't have any personal friends who were multimillionaires. I didn't know any of those people. For me, being a thousandaire was a great goal. Not a millionaire, a thousandaire. I just wanted to be a thousandaire. We had a couple $100s in the bank, and I couldn't go from being a hundredaire to picturing being a millionaire. That's like right now, most of you can't picture yourselves being a billionaire. You can say it, but you can't picture it. Or most of you don't picture it because it's a big, big process to get from where you are to billions of dollars. Okay? And so I had to start picturing myself becoming successful. had to start picturing myself having the bank account. And so I had to decide what I want. Now, the key thing for me is this here. I made a list of things that I wanted, and that was, for me, it was kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult. And so what I had to do personally, and I tell my story all the time about this, what I personally had to do, you may not have to do it this way, I had to do it in reverse. Because I had things in my life that I didn't want that income and network marketing would have eliminated, and so that became my motivation. Because, see, I couldn't get excited about a multi-million-dollar house. I lived in apartments all my life. We never even owned a house. We had a 2-bedroom house before that we rented, and I think the rent was maybe like $300 or $400 a month. I couldn't picture myself in that didn't motivate me. I couldn't picture myself in this beautiful car. That didn't motivate me. It just didn't. I couldn't picture millions of dollars in the bank. That didn't motivate me whatsoever. Freedom didn't motivate me. All of that stuff really didn't motivate me because I didn't know how it felt. I couldn't get the picture and get the emotions behind it. Because whatever it is that you picture, you must get the emotions behind it. And once you get the emotions behind it, that's how the picture becomes reality. So what I had to do is take what was emotional to me and turn it into some type of reality. You know what was emotional to me? And like I said, I had to do it in reverse. I didn't like working for somebody else. I knew how that felt. I didn't know how freedom felt, but I knew how it felt to work for somebody else 40 hours a week, 40 years, and retire on 40% of what you already couldn't live on. That to me was a no-no. That to me, I didn't like being under control of somebody else. I knew how it felt for my boss to say, you need to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, and don't be 1 minute late. I knew how it feels to be degraded and have some other man tell me what I need to do with my time. I knew how it felt for them to tell me, hey, listen, you need to take a lunch break at 12 o'clock. How did they know I got hungry at 12? They didn't ask my permission, No. I knew how that felt. I knew how it felt not to have enough money in the bank. Because there were so many things that my wife and I wanted to do, and guess what? We couldn't do them because I didn't have the money. I couldn't picture at that time what it felt like to have a whole lot of money in the bank, but I knew how it felt not to have money in the bank. I knew how it felt to have creditors call the house. Or I knew what it sounded like. You follow what I'm saying? And so all of those things that we had, so many people see us today and they think that we didn't have any of those issues. Guys, I'll tell you one thing. 4 years ago, I could have sat right there in the crowd. Nobody would have known who I was because you know what? Our situation was exactly reverse of what it is today. No big cars, no big house, none of that stuff. No money coming in, no money in the bank, no freedom, bondage. And I knew how that felt. I knew how it felt. Now, this is what I did know. I knew how it felt to see mothers have their kids and have to send them off to daycare. And I heard the complaints all the time. I heard them all the time. I knew how that felt. And guess what? I didn't want any of that stuff. And what I did is I made a list of those things that had an emotional burn with me. And remember, for me, it was a reverse effect. I couldn't picture all the things that I really wanted. Maybe you can. I'm not saying you have to do it my way. But you have to have some reasons why you're going to build this business. So I couldn't picture all of those things, but I pictured the things that I didn't want in my life. And I figured out I need a vehicle to accomplish those things, I need a vehicle to give me the financial wherewithal to eliminate the things in my life that I did not want. That was my motivation. Remember, I saw speakers on stage. They say, how many of you are going to be a diamond? How many of you are going to be this? How many of you are going to be that? And I'd always stand up and raise my hand, but I never pictured it up here. And that's why I never got it. But you know what I did picture myself? I pictured myself at every single meeting. I pictured myself getting the knowledge. I pictured myself associating with positive people. I pictured myself associating with the people who had the income, the people who had the lifestyle, and therefore I never ever missed a meeting since I've been in the industry of network marketing, period. End of story. It was never an option for me to miss a meeting. Why? Because I just developed it up here in my picture. The benefit to that is this. Because I did picture myself at the meetings and I did picture myself at every event, I was associating and subconsciously I was picking up the knowledge anyway, and I got the training on accident. It's a true story, guys. I got it anyway. If you take a kid, he's born in China, put him in America, raise him in America, what is he going to speak? He's going to speak English. Is he going to know one word of Chinese if he leaves his parents and to get raised by me and my wife? No. So he's going to pick that up on accident. And I don't believe in accidents, but you guys know what I'm saying. He's going to pick it up anyway. He doesn't know any better. And so because of my positive association with other people, I didn't have a choice. I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else but to think a certain way. I didn't know anything else but to think in a success mentality, in a long-term mentality, and a wealth mentality. And so I made that list, and because of that, it made the things happen up here, it made them come true. And so what happened is this: because I made that list and I consistently verbalized the actions that I needed to get rid of the things in my life that I didn't want. And what happened is, next thing you know, things start happening in my life for me. Did it happen right away? No, it didn't happen right away. Why? Because remember guys, I had 20-something years at that time of negative thinking. And you can't go from 20-something years of negative thinking. Some of you have a longer period of time of the wrong programming. And so I had 20-something years of the wrong thinking, 20-something years of negative programming, 20-something years of job mentality programmed up here, and it took a while for me to dilute that process out so that I can now start thinking success mentality. And that's why some of you right now, it's real difficult for you to make a decision whether you're going to be at the power training or not. You know why? Job mentality. Success mentality people have already registered. Success mentality people are saying, when is the next function going to be, 2 months from now? Is there a way I can get a registration? Job mentality people think, man, you know what, I don't get paid until I'll do it after payday. Because we've been programmed to do things when the boss gives us a paycheck. And if you consistently do those things, guess what you'll have? You'll consistently have those same results, and you'll never live the things in life that you really want to live. I'm just giving you the truth here. And so first thing you got to do, guys, is develop some reasons why. Anybody ever heard of the lady whose son got trapped up on their car? And what did she do? She lifted that car up. Why was that? Why did she lift that car up, Tanya? She had a why. She had a reason why. She had her son. She had her pride and joy. Emotion was all wrapped up into that moment. And, it didn't matter. When she had a reason why, she didn't go to the manual and she didn't call 24-Hour Fitness and say, hey, listen, I've got a son up here. What's the proper way to bench press this car? She didn't need information on how to do it. All she needed was a reason. Now, let me ask you another question. 5 minutes later, after her son had already been rescued, the car's still there. She goes back, try to lift the car up again. What's going to happen? Now, let me ask you a question. Did her muscles disappear in 2 minutes? No. What happened? Her desire, her reasons disappeared. Guys, to me, that's one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard. And if you understand that, that's why I'm telling you guys, that's why some people who are sitting right next to you right now, they have something happen into their lives. Next thing you know, 2 months later, 3 months later, next thing you know, they go from whatever pin level they are to one of the highest pin levels out there. Why? They found enough reasons to do it, and they got emotional about those reasons. So you have to develop a burning why of what you're going to do.
Wow, that's powerful information. Let's take a 30-second action break. Picture yourself achieving success as you write down 10 goals you would like to achieve in your business. Now remember, if you're driving, let's not write, just picture it. Now that you've developed your why, let's talk about the second principle in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow. What is it that you're willing to give up in order to get the things that you want?
Is this business going to be easy? Yes and no. It's not easy in a sense because everybody'd do it if it was easy. But it's very simple. It's very simple. It's easy once you make the decision. See, it's easy for me to go out and show the plan. You know why? Because I got a big why. It was easy for her to pick that car up. She had a big why. It's hard to do it when you don't have a reason why. It's real hard. I'm telling you guys, waking up this morning, Saturday morning, putting on a suit of clothes. If you lagged out of bed this morning and you and some of you did, and that's okay. But if you drug out of bed this morning, it's because you don't have a big enough dream. But those who got up this morning, fired up, excited, drove from miles and miles away, excited, got here early, was anticipating what was going to happen, they got a big dream. They got many reasons why. Many, many reasons why. Same thing. If your son was here, your son was staying at the hotel, your daughter was staying at the hotel, and you found out the hotel was on fire, are you going to drag out of bed? If you found out there was a shooting here, are you going to drag out of bed? No. Without makeup, everything, you just gone. Why? You got reasons why, guys. I'm using those examples because I want to hit you where the emotion is, because I want you to really understand what it's really going to take for you to start doing the things. Because, see, I'm going to talk about the how-to. But, see, if you don't understand this why, if you don't have reasons why, the how-to is not going to matter because you won't do them. You won't be consistent enough doing those things to make the financial equivalent come to pass. You have to be consistent with those things. So you have to figure out what it is that you're going to give up. You know what I had to give up? I had to give up some television time. Now, this was based on what my goals and dreams were. If you have big dreams, that's great. You're going to give up a little bit more. If you got small dreams, you have to give up a little bit less. But this is the thing I want you to understand about the industry of network marketing. You don't give those things up forever. You give them up for a small time, for a short period of time, and what happens is this. Whatever it is that you sow into your business or that you give into your business, if you're consistent with your actions, it will be given to you multiplied. And I'll give you an example. What did I have to give up? I had to give up golf on the cheap green fees. I could only afford to go over here to this particular golf course. It was a municipal course, and I walk. It'd be 180 degrees outside in Houston. Humidity 200%. African hot outside. And I'm walking with some metal sticks on my back saying I'm trying to lose weight. The reason I was walking with golf clubs because I couldn't afford to purchase a cart. But I had to give up playing golf on weekends to work on my dream. I didn't give it up forever. I had to give up some television time because I watched a lot of TV. Am I saying television is bad? No. I'm saying it's bad for a person who's got a big dream temporarily. I had to give up a lot of social events that weren't so important to me. Most of those social events that I had to give up were things that I was doing just to pass time because I didn't have anything better to do anyway. I had to give up some association with some negative people. I had to give up that association with negative people. I had to give up or invest money into my business. Why? Because it is a business. I don't consider this network marketing. Most of you know that. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, and your business can be a multi-million-dollar business, and it's going to take some type of finances to make it work. It's going to take some type of finances to make it work. And so for me, I had to give up and invest money into my business. I had to give up some travel, some, loose travel time. I know we had a couple vacations that we wanted to take, if you want to call them vacations, in the same state. Going to the same state, We're going to Austin. But I had to give up some of those things. Why? Because sometimes they called events and they called big meetings and they called trainings on the days that we were going to plan that particular vacation. And guess what? In the beginning, it was uncomfortable. And then when they set the date, I may set that date and I say, hey, I'm going to be at that training, anyway. And so I gave up a lot of those small things. Now, this is what happened. Because I gave those things up and I worked the business consistently. Now, let me share something with you. Don't give the stuff up if you're not going to work the business. Just because you give a sacrifice, just because you give something up doesn't mean that it's just going to come back to you anyway. You have to give it up and you have to work. When a farmer goes out and sows some seeds, he doesn't just throw some seeds out there and say, hey, I'll see y'all in about 6 months and I better have about, 50 acres of corn out here. He throws the seeds out and then he works the seeds. He works the soil. He makes sure he fertilizes it. And he's out there every single day making sure the bugs are out of there, making sure that there's no birds coming to get the corn, making sure that the soil is the right temperature, the soil is the right texture. And he's out there working. And then guess what? 90 days later, he sees his harvest come. So you can't just go out there and give stuff up or invest stuff into your business and then expect something to come back if you don't go out there and do the work. So you have to have a consistent work habit along with that. So I gave up a lot of those things, and this is what happened. Because we gave up those things, this is what happened. Miracles started to come about. Because I was operating on a principle that governs the law of building wealth. And you can't refute those principles. Those principles are universal. I don't care if it's network marketing, any industry, those principles work. We gave up playing golf on the cheap green fees. Now guess what? I play all over the world. Just come back from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Several of us were out there in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Played in, this course, incredible course called White Witch Country Club. The first tee, some of you saw the picture when we showed the slideshow, the first tee is about 200 yards. The tee box is about 200 yards from the fairway. That's how far down it is. 16 holes, ocean view holes. Just carts already washed and everything. When we got there and we pulled up, they came and got our bags for us. We didn't have to carry any of our own golf clubs. And then when we got there, we had 2 caddies. We had people to go and chase that little white ball for us. I needed 3 caddies. They couldn't find mine. Now, was it worth it giving up playing at Sharpstown to go play over here at White Witch? Was it worth it giving that up to play at Terra del Sol over in Aruba? Where it's just incredible. Same thing, ocean view holes. I think green fees are around $200 and something per round. And it's just incredible. You hit the ball one way because it's very windy in Aruba. You hit the ball one way with the 1 iron or a driver, and you can only drive it about 150 yards, hard as you can hit it. Then you come back the other way because the wind is blowing in your favor. You take a sand wedge and you hit it almost 200 yards. Incredible. Some of y'all don't understand that, but anyway. But it was worth giving that up. It was worth giving up some social events that I was able to give up. And now, guess what? I do the things that I really want to do, and I do them in style. We just came from the EV1.net Houston Bowl. We didn't sit down there, in the nosebleed seats where everybody else was. We were there in the club seats. You follow what I'm saying? I was able to take my brother. I was able to take my son in the club seats. It got real cold out there that day. Everybody else was shivering. We were there, plush couches. We had about 15 plasma screen televisions that we were able to sit there, watch the game, and have food brought to us over at Reliance Stadium, where everybody else is out there shivering. Can't see the game because they got their coats over them. Because it got real windy and cold. Was it worth giving up some of those events? Absolutely it was. Was it worth giving up some television time to do things like that? We gave up television time. And then we were able to go to Paris, and we were able to watch, just some incredible shows in Paris. Was it worth giving up some television time to go to Vegas and be able to sit, just second row and see, by Cirque du Soleil, and have water splashed on you because you're so close? Was it worth giving up some television time so now that when we go to Vegas, we were able to watch the Siegfried and Roy, and we were able to sit right there in the pit? Right there, I don't know if y'all know what the pit is. The pit is the high dollar tickets. Where now some of y'all may think we're crazy for doing this, especially after what just happened recently, but we're sitting right there in the pit, and you got the animals that walk right by you. You can sit out there and you can touch the lion, and then you can touch the tigers. But there was choice. I didn't have to sit there if I didn't want to, but because I gave that up, I was able to come back and do those things. So what happened is this here. Because we put money into our business when I didn't have it. Not that I took my savings. No. I just was smart about my business. I put into my business, and because I put into my business, what happens is it starts coming back to me tenfold. Guys, that's a principle, and you can't refute it. I put money into my business, and then I worked the business, and next thing you know, guess what happened? It came back tenfold. It came back 100-fold. It came back 1,000-fold. And now it's just coming in, and it's just coming in, it's just coming in, it's just coming in. And sometimes it comes into a point that you don't even know what to do with it all. But we found out what to do with it, okay? Just want to let y'all know. We got plenty of reasons why, okay? You follow what I'm saying? So you got to give up those things some of the things temporarily right now so that you can have the lifestyle that you want. We had to give up, like I said, just negative association with people. And now, guys, we got friends. And for Christmas, I mean, guys, we got so many cards and baskets and I mean, just things that came to our house. I mean, it was like the 12 days of Christmas, before Christmas. And those things just came and it was because people just, people just care. People like the contribution that we've sown into their life. And so what happens is some of that stuff start coming back to us. And we can pick up the phone right now. We can call a friend and say, hey, listen, let's go over here to New York, or let's go here and let's do that. We had to give up a lot of little small things and that we couldn't afford to do. And now just the lifestyle is just up there. My wife now, she gets her hair done in Dallas. She caught a flight 2 days ago to fly to Dallas to get her hair done. Why? Because she wants to. You follow what I'm saying? Just do what you want to do. See, that's removing the lid. That's removing the box. Now, guess what? Before, she used to do her own hair because we couldn't afford to get it done because we had to put the money into the business. Say, honey, go to Walgreens, get you one of those perms, those relaxers. Whip it up. You can ask her. You follow what I'm saying? She made it look good, though. But we didn't have the money to go spend, $200, $300, to get her hair done. We didn't have the money to do that. I had to give up, buying nice clothes in the beginning. This is our broke days. And then what happened, because we did that and we went out, we worked the business, now I get custom-made clothes. And I buy things that you'll never see on anybody else. You follow what I'm saying? But 4 years ago, guess what we were? In a worse financial situation than 98% of you. It didn't take 4 years to get here either. I'm just telling the story now. You follow me? And so that's the key thing. Decide what you want. Decide what you're willing to give up.
Success and freedom is not easy. Just ask the spider monkey. The spider monkey lives in the jungle and evades its predators with its speed and agility. Hunters, however, have figured out the secret to catching spider monkeys. See, spider monkeys love candy, so they set up these little candy jars with the opening just big enough for the monkey to squeeze its hand inside. The monkey runs towards the jar and grabs the candy inside. With the candy in the palm of its fist, the monkey can't remove both his fist and the candy. But the spider monkey is very persistent. He continues to pull as the hunter walks up and put a rope around his neck. See, the moral of the story is the spider monkey is so focused on the present that he won't let go of the little bit that he's got to get his freedom. Now would be a good time to decide what you're willing to give up to get what you want. Let's take a 30-second action break and write those things down. The third principle in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow is picking a champion.
And then you have to pick a champion. You have to pick a winner. Pick somebody that you're going to model yourself after. Who is it that you are being mentored by? Pick a mentor and associate with positive, successful people who are doing the things in life that you want to do. Does that mean you have to stop being friends with your friends? I'm not saying that. Temporarily, you may have to give them limited access. I'm serious. That's what I had to do. I mean, how can you build an organization of positive, excited people when you're at home with your beer drinking buddies and all you do is tell dirty jokes and all kind of stuff and talk about what's not going to happen? That can't happen. And so I had to give limited access. Some of my golfing buddies, I just chose not to play golf with those guys anymore because it just wasn't a positive atmosphere for me to picture the dreams that I really wanted. It wasn't the atmosphere that I needed to be able to picture myself having the financial wherewithal to eliminate the things in my life that I didn't want so that I could have the things in my life that I did want. So there were some things that I had to eliminate. But associate with positive people. Guys, if you've got a support team or support line or an upline of people that's working with you, and everybody in here, I don't care which line, I don't care what group you're in, everybody in here, you've got an organization of somebody who's successful in this business, because everybody in here, your upline leads at least up to Brad Hager. And he's the person who's put the system together. So why couldn't you be successful? Why couldn't you be successful? He's done a phenomenal job at putting this whole entire deal together. But guess what? In the beginning, he had to picture it. He had to picture it being done. Have you ever heard that CD from 35 to 312? He pictured this day coming before he had $1 in commission checks from this company. He pictured this day coming. You follow what I'm saying? And so everybody in here, you're very fortunate to be able to have an upline or somebody who can help you get to where you want to go. So you have to associate with that person.
Now that you've developed your why, you've decided what you're willing to give up to get the things that you want, the third requirement in turning your business into a cash cow is picking a champion. My grandfather always told me, son, if you want to become successful in life, find somebody who's done what you want to do and duplicate what they've done. If you're brand new in this business, get with the person who sponsored you and tell them to introduce you to 5 successful people in your support. Principle number 4 in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow is plan your work and work your plan.
Last thing you must do is you have to plan your work and work your plan. I'm not going to go into how to set goals and things of that nature. That's what your support line is for. That's what your upline is for. But you want to plan your work and work your plan. Well, what do I mean by plan your work and work your plan? Obviously, most of you have goals. Now remember, goals and dreams are different. Dreams are the material equivalent or the spiritual or the emotional or personal things that you want to receive from accomplishing your goal. So don't get dreams and goals confused. The dreams are the tangibles. Those are the things that you guys want to get, that you want to have. The goals are the marking points or the checkpoints along the way to see whether or not you're on target for getting the dreams and goals that you want. So you get with their support line and you figure out what it is that let them know what your dream is. The thing I'll tell you is this, guys. If your upline or support line doesn't know what your dream or goal is, your dream and your goal, then it's going to be a very, very difficult road for you to get there. Because typically, see, the reason that they are your upline and that you're working with them is because they've already done what you're trying to do. So if they've done what you're trying to do, let's say, for example, I want to leave here from Houston, and I've never driven to Waco, Texas. Who in here has driven to Waco, Texas? Now let me ask you a question. Willie's never driven to Waco, so should I go and ask Willie how should I drive to Waco? No. What should I expect along the way? Any car, police, any speed traps or anything? Is there going to be a lot of construction going on? No, I shouldn't go to Willie. Does that mean that Willie's not competent? No, he's just not competent for me to accomplish my goal and for me to get my dream, which is to get to Waco, Texas. But Ronnie has. I should be in communication with Ronnie. Ronnie, hey, listen, this is where I want to go. And Ronnie's going to lay out a plan. Okay, well, this is what you need to do. You're going to probably need about 2 tanks of gas. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. Over here, about 20 miles from here, you may want to take this detour because they're working on the roads there, and you're going to come into a bottleneck. Traffic's going to be real bad. You follow what I'm saying? Now, what Willie can do is Willie can get up and theoretically tell me how to get there. Well, I know Waco's over here in this area. You just take 45, such and such and such. And see, that's a theory. And so it may take a little longer for me to get there with his theory than with his experience. And see, most of us are getting advice, theoretical advice. And you're getting advice on this business from people who are not even in. It's called sometimes spouse. Honey, there's a power training. I don't think you need to go there. Oh, okay, I won't go. And she's just as broke as you. I'm telling you guys, I'm not being negative here. I didn't listen to my wife when if she was telling me don't go to an event. Remember, I used to bank with her. I knew what her bank balance was. And I don't take advice from broke people. And she was broke. And the same thing, she shouldn't have taken negative advice from me. I was broke. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm not coming down on husbands and wives, but guys, I'll tell you, sometimes that's the biggest dream stealer. Man, you've already been to 3 of those things, and I hadn't seen an increase in your income. Well, you are right. But they'll never say, you know, it's mighty funny. You know, you've been working for 20 years, and we still don't have our dreams and goals. You need to quit. No, they won't say that. You follow what I'm saying? We take advice from friends. I know somebody who was in one of those deals. You just watch out. They're going to get you. I know somebody who was in one of those deals. They never made any money. And I'll tell you, right now they're still in that deal and not making any money. And what we do is we internalize that and we take their advice instead of taking advice from people like Ronnie, who's been there. He's been there. I'm going to go to Ronnie and find out what I need to do to get to Waco ASAP. I want to go the shortest route possible. How many of you want to get to success in this business the shortest route possible? And that's what it's all about. Okay? Network marketing, number one, is the shortcut. Communicating with somebody in your upline is the shortcut to getting there. So there's 4 things that you need to do from a standpoint of desire. We talked about that. Develop your dream. Develop reasons why. What it is that motivates you. Decide what you're going to give up. Pick a champion. Find somebody to mentor you. Associate with positive and successful people. How do you associate? Books, tapes, functions. Books, tapes, functions. Books, tapes, functions. You say, how do I associate with the book? Well, Napoleon Hill, I hadn't met that guy yet, but I feel like I know him. I associate with him almost every day. Why? I read his books. Like they say, writing makes a man exact. See, I know exactly what he was thinking. It's no theory. There's no theory. I know exactly what Steven Pinker was thinking when he wrote the book, How the Mind Works. I know exactly what he was thinking. I associate with him. He doesn't even know me. I associate with people on tapes. Guys, you got some incredible tapes. Guys, we've got story tapes here from Cannon Egg Fly, 35 to 312, Live Your Dreams by Susan Walsh, Flashpoints by Ron Goles. Associate with those people. Pursue your passion. Lisa Head, Take Charge of Your Life. Mark Scarvin. Why wouldn't you want to associate? These are the successful people in your organization and your company. Tireless by Stephen Thompson. Why wouldn't you want to associate with those people? Associate with them. That's what, in my opinion, that's what you should be listening to. You got to Eat the Crust First by my wife and myself. Associate every single day. You go out in my car right now. Take out the CDs that's in there. See what you find in my CD player. And that's not just stage stuff. That's how I associate. I'm always listening to somebody who's built a bigger business than I have. It's a continual process. And so, guys, we've got through chapter 1. What it is that you need to do to build a successful business.
You've just heard the 4 principles of turning your network marketing business into a cash cow. Before you insert CD number 2, review your notes and picture yourself utilizing these principles.
While the techniques and approaches suggested here have worked for others, no one can guarantee that they will work for you. We sincerely hope, however, that the ideas presented here will assist you in building a strong and profitable business. This has been a 3K Marketing Group production. Unauthorized duplication of the CD is strictly prohibited. To purchase this audio program, go to www.3kmg.com.
Now what we want to go ahead and get into is we're going to get into a little bit of some how-to stuff, some very important foundational basic stuff that everybody needs to build a successful network marketing organization. In any business that you build, there are essential materials or essential monies or finances or assets or whatever it is that you actually need to make that business thrive and to make that business move forward and to make that business grow. Typically, when starting a business, it takes what? Money. Am I right? It takes a lot of money. Capital in traditional business is typically the fuel or the engine behind a business becoming successful when that capital is associated with a person who has a big dream and that person who understands exactly what they are about to do. I don't care how much money you have. If you give it to a fool, you'll just have a rich fool, temporary, and then your business will go out of business soon. So money is just not the only part of becoming successful in any traditional business. What money is a resource. How many of you in here started a traditional business before? Raise your hands if you owned a business. Carolyn, what type of business was it that you own or do you own now?
Custom picture framing.
Custom picture framing. I'm very familiar with that business. There was equipment and machinery that you needed. Inventory that you needed. Now, depending on how large your business was, typically most people can't do it from the home if they do a lot of wholesale business. Or if they have a retail business, they don't do it from their home, typically. Maybe employees that was needed. Maybe lines of credit that was needed. And let me ask you a question. From your initial investment of getting that business started, did you break even your first month?
No.
No, she says. No. Second month? Not even your third month? No. Anybody else started a business? What type of business was it?
Transportation, service maintenance prevention for Alamo and Enterprise out of the airport.
That business. But it costs money to get started, am I right?
Yes.
Did you break even your first month? No. Second month?
4 years later.
4 years later. Broke even. Why didn't you quit?
9/11 bankruptcy. They filed bankruptcy. They no longer needed me as an outside vendor.
So he didn't quit, they quit on him.
Right.
4 years later, it took him to earn his first dollar of profit. Anybody else start a business? Raven, what type of business was it?
Cosmetic.
Cosmetic business. Supplies you had to buy?
Oh, yeah. Lots of
Advertising?
advertisement,
Inventory? I bet you broke even your first month, didn't you? She didn't break even. She didn't break even. And some people get involved in network marketing and they don't break even their first month. Oh, it doesn't work. Tell Leslie that for 4 years. A couple of years probably. I don't know how many years. Anybody else start a business? Anybody took longer than 5 years to break even? Harold in the back. Ronnie? How long, Ronnie? 7 years. Tony? Still recouping. How long has it been, Tony? 10 strong. 10 years. And you didn't quit? No, he didn't quit. You follow? Now, am I saying it's going to take that long to start making a profit? No. Guys, you can get started in this business network marketing for as little as possible, and you can make your money back immediately. I know people, including myself, who got their initial outlay of cash that they put into this business, and I got started at the highest level, and we got our money back in the first day. Okay? We had earned the money back in the first day. Actually didn't receive that check the first day, but we had done the work to earn our money back our first day. And I've helped several people to do that, a lot of people to do that. Okay? And so when you look at this business here, guys, it's incredible. Now let's talk about that for a second. See, that's traditional business, what I just gave you an example of. Taking years and years and years and years and years. This is why people don't quit those businesses. This is why. Because they see cash coming in. It's not profit, but they see cash coming in, and psychologically they think the business is working. They're not making any profits, but cash is coming in. If that was the case, you might as well go and work for a bank. Be a bank teller. You're counting cash all day long. I mean, just shoveling that cash, you know. Here you go, here you go, here you go, and walk out feeling rich. You know, you should get in business to make a profit. And that's why people don't quit, because cash is coming in, cash is coming in. What they're thinking is this. They're thinking that because cash is coming in, someday I am going to turn a profit. And they stay in the business, and they stay in the business, and they stay in the business, and I guess what? I applaud those people because that's a principle that works. And if it wasn't for those people, our country wouldn't be what it is today. Because it's the entrepreneurs that have laid the foundation and laid the groundwork for most of you in here who have jobs. If it wasn't for those people, 99% of you wouldn't have jobs. I think jobs are great temporarily while you're working on your picture, while you're working on your dream. Now, how does that relate to network marketing? In network marketing, you don't need a lot of money. The thing I love about this business, you don't need money. There's billions and billions of dollars of resources out there that you get access to for free. It's called people. People. See, people are the resources in this business, Wendell. See, to me, a window coming into my business is worth more than the bank loaning me $20,000. It's worth more than the bank loaning me $100,000. It's worth more than somebody giving me $100,000. If you understand what I'm saying. And so people are the resources. Now let me ask you a question. When the last time you saw people stop being born? Is there a decline in the birth rate right now? No. That means that people are being born faster than money is being printed. So which is more important, people or the money? Exactly. Now, so if there's people being born faster than money is being printed, and there's more people out there than there is money, which should you pursue? Should you pursue a business that requires a lot of money, or should you pursue a business that has unlimited resources, unlimited people, born all the time, and there's millions of people out there right now who are looking for an opportunity, and if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be in this room today. And so sometimes we're chasing the wrong thing and we have the wrong picture. So what we're going to talk about right now is list building and how to invite.
This is one of my favorite skills to teach. When I mastered the art of contacting and inviting, my income quadrupled in less than 6 months. Pay close attention and continue practicing these approaches until you have mastered them.
Building a list and how to invite. People are the raw materials. They're the resources. Some of you got involved in the business because we have a great cold market program. That is incredible. That is what we call fuel to the fire. That is called putting your business on steroids. That is called growing it faster when you have a warm market built. What I have found is this. I have found, in my experience, the people in my organization have grown the fastest when they've built their warm market first, and then they start adding cold market or our ad program to it. Does that mean you can't grow fast if you start just with cold market or the ad program? No, it doesn't mean that at all. I'm just giving you what my experience has been and what I teach to people in our organization. Now, if people are the raw materials, people are the resources, and there's unlimited number of people, and typically in traditional business, the more successful your business comes, the more what you need? Money. The bigger it becomes, the more money you need. The bigger it becomes, the more money you need. The bigger it becomes, the more money you borrow. The bigger it becomes, the more money you borrow. The bigger it becomes, the more debt you're in. That works the same in this business here. The bigger your business becomes, the more people your business will bring in. The bigger your business becomes, the more profits you will make as well in this business without the debt load. That's what I'm telling you guys. When you sit down and think about this from a business standpoint, get the emotions and the feelings all out of it. Most of us haven't been trained on how to evaluate a real business anyway. So don't think that you're some wizard on business evaluation. Get that out of it and just look at it. Millions of dollars over here. A couple hundred to $1,000 over here. Expenses over here can be in the tens of thousands per month, with income being negative, no income, no profit. Expenses over here, $100, $200 max, somewhere around there. And profits can be in the 6-figure and even in the 7 figures, and not take 10 years to get there. You follow what I'm saying? When you look at it from that standpoint. No inventory requirements, no leases, no employees. I mean, on this hand over here. On the other hand, leases, inventory, employees, workman's comp, insurance, other stuff. No money, no profits, no time. It's consuming all of your time. Over here, part-time. A lot of money. Unlimited resources. You can build it as big as you can picture it. Here, you're basically almost limited. Competition will crush you if you don't have enough resources. Over here, the only competitor is your ability to imagine how big you want it. The only competitor that you have is you. Nobody else, there's nobody else who's tried to stop me from sponsoring people. No other company out there is concerned about my success in this business and going to try to stop me from building a large organization. You know why? They understand that people are being born faster than money is being printed. That's why there's no such thing as saturation in network marketing. The largest organization in the world is Christianity. It's not saturated, and it's been around for several thousand years. Do you think that network marketing will be saturated? No. You follow what I'm saying? That's a myth. And so now this is what we do here. If you want to have a large business in traditional, you want to start off with a lot of capital. If you want to have a large business in network marketing, start out with what? A lot of people or a lot of prospects. And so I'm going to talk to you right now about how to build a list. First of all, when you're building a list, understand that your list will someday turn into the physical equivalent monetary value that you're really looking for. So build a list big, build a list strong. There's several reasons to build a big list. Not only because you'll make a lot of money, but building a big list allows you to have what we call posture, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I tell people this. Start off at least with a list of 100 people. Some of you are afraid because we have a cold market program. You want to tell people, oh, don't build a list. Don't have to worry about that. No, guys, build a list. Do you want to build a big business? Yes. If you were having a party and you had $1 million budget that I was donating or Brad was donating to you to have a party, would there be more than 100 people on the invitation list? Absolutely. Well, if you're going to build $1 million income that comes in every single year instead of a party that you don't make any money from whatsoever to impress people you didn't like in the first place, to come to somewhere to spend up all your money, why wouldn't you build a list of a bigger than 100 people to build $1 million income? And then you don't need Brad and my money. You throw your own party. You follow what I'm saying? Build a list. Don't prejudge people. Don't you make the decision for whether or not they can get started in the business. When we build that list, you make that list long and strong. Just write down names arbitrarily. Whoever's name comes to your mind, write down their names. There's memory joggers that you can do. If you want to build a list. Now, this is for the people who really want to make it happen. Those people that really don't want to make it happen, you'll take notes on this and you'll leave out of here and you won't do it. And your list will remain 15 people. Everybody in here, I can tell you right now, if it came down to the wire, you can put a list of 500 people on the list. And you can do it probably in less than 2 hours. If the dream was big enough. Go to the Mercedes-Benz dealership. They say, hey, we're going to hand you the keys right now of $120,000 S600 Mercedes-Benz. All I need is 500 referrals, not one dime out of your pocket, and I need them within 2 hours. How many of you walk out of there with a Mercedes-Benz? You know why? Because you picture it. It's almost like a guarantee. And so we work on guarantees. We work on what we can picture. Now, let me ask you a question. See, I'm teaching you how to do the business now. If you build a list of 500 people, in my opinion, I can't guarantee it, you'll have the money to buy 3 Mercedes-Benzes this year through your own income. You follow what I'm saying? By building that list. Why? Those are the resources. So now when you build that list, what you want to do is this. Just start writing names. Think about people in certain professions. Who do I know that's an accountant? Who do I know that's a bank teller? And just ask yourself those questions. Who do I know? Who do I know? Who do I know? Who do I know that I worship with? Who do I know that my children go to school with? Who do I know that last name is Brown? Who do I know that last name is Davis? Who do I know that last name is Carter? Who do I know last name is this? Take the telephone book. Go through them. Just go through the phone book. Look at last names. Who do I know that has a last name like this? Who do I know that has a first name like this? Who do I know that I play golf with? Who did I graduate with? Who do I know that sold me the car that I'm driving? Who do I know that at the grocery store? Who do I know at the cleaners? Who do I know that my son or daughter plays this particular sport with? Guys, remember, when you're making your list, the biggest reason that most of you won't make a big list is because you're making a list and you're making a decision for that person at the same time. And when you're making a list and a decision for those people at the same time, your list will be real short because you will eliminate all of the right people and you'll put down what I call the easy crowd, the people that's easy for you to contact. And you'll make excuses for those, oh, well, they can't afford it, or they make too much money. They don't have the time to do this, so I won't put them on the list. How many of you have done that? Raise your hands. Be honest with me. Every single hand better go up. Because if that's not the case, everybody in here would be at least gold. You follow what I'm saying? There's people right now that I've done it. I know you've done it. I've done it. You follow what I'm saying? And so you have to not prejudge those people. Build that list of names. That list of names can be, to me, it's worth gold. I tell people, you're sitting on millions of dollars right now. All you've got to do is put them on a piece of paper and let them go through the process.
Wow, this is powerful information. Your list could be worth a fortune. Why don't we stop the CD right now, take out a pen and a piece of paper, and let's build a prospecting list of at least 100 people. Now remember, don't start the CD again until...
After you build that list, you're not prejudging those people. What I recommend you do is categorize your list of people. Make a list of people at a distance. So you should have two types of lists. You should have people that are local. That means within a 3-hour drive. That's local. Forget this cross-town stuff. When I was in network marketing, anybody who was in 3-4 hours, we go show the plan to them for a one-on-one. A one-on-one. And we go across town here in Houston, 45 miles, and we're like, man, I got to go way over there to show them the plan. I'll just put them on the website. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that. You know, network marketing in this industry here and technology has made it a lot simpler for us to process more people. But I'm talking about your initial list, guys. When you handle your initial list properly, you can set yourself up to be financially independent, in my opinion. Okay. You have that list of people. Make a list of people that are local. Make a list of people that are at a distance. How many of you know people that are outside of 3 hours from where you live? Keep your hands up if you put all of them on your list. Hands going down kind of slow. I'm going to be the last liar. Okay, good. We got 2 people here that have put all of them on their list. Okay? And so, guys, I mean, you know people, why not have let me share something with you. Why not have a business outside of where you live? Guys, if we got 22 power trainings that's coming up. Wouldn't it be awesome to have people in your group at all 22 of them getting trained by somebody else other than you? See, that's what smart business people think of. You got 22 people, 22 different power trainings that's going to take place by people who are making 6 figures or more in this business. It would be incredible. And my goal is to fill up and have more people at any power training than anybody else in the organization, in the company. You follow what I'm saying? And so guess what? All of you know people right now outside of this area. This is the key thing that you don't understand. The people that you know outside of this area know other people in areas that you don't know. That's why the income and the resources are unlimited in this business. So now you build that list. You make that list long. You make that list strong. You don't prejudge. You make a local list. You make a long distance list. Then this is what you want to do. You want to categorize it in 4 different categories. Categorize your list in 4 different categories. If I had a board, I'd draw it out for you up here. I call it a 4-checker. The 4 checks. And what I do is this. By each person's name, I'm going to have 4 little boxes next to their name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to categorize those people. Well, what do you mean categorize them? I'm going to say, okay, does this person right here, do they have influence? Do they work in an atmosphere where they have influence with people? Now, let me share something with you. You say, well, that may not be so important. I want you to look at the top income earners in this company. Look at Brad, look at Susan, look at Ron. Brad Hager was in sales before he got started in this industry. Did he have influence with people? Absolutely. Susan Walsh, hairdresser. Did she meet people and have influence with them? Yeah. Absolutely. Ron Goles, advertising. He owned his own advertising firm. Did he have influence with people? A whole bunch of influence with people. People with influence is very important to have on your list. That's why I say a window on my list is worth more than a company giving me $100,000. I'm going to show you how to turn that asset, or the monetary equivalent of $100,000. Now, do they have influence? Is this person a self-starter? How many of y'all think Brad's a self-starter? Or how many of y'all think Brad needs help? You know, his upline had to call him. Hey, man, you call your people yet? You coming to the meeting? Coming to the business briefing? Coming to training? No, he's a self-starter. How many of y'all think that, Brad had to call Susan all the time and say, hey, Susan, listen, there's a power training. You need to get registered for it. Or is she a self-starter? She's a self-starter. She was a self-starter before she started making all this money. That's why she made it in a shorter period of time than other people, because you have to unlearn being not a self-starter, and you have to now learn to become a self-starter, and then your income comes. You don't just go from where you are to income. You have to go through a process of change. So I want to start with those people who have those type of characteristics. Now, third is this person coachable, teachable, and trainable? Now, if they have an ego that's out of whack, typically I don't even like them. I don't even want them on my list. But I'll put them on there anyway. I'll put them on there anyway. They may go out and lead me to somebody else who doesn't have an ego, and they'll quit, and I'll be able to build and work with those people. It's already happened in my business before as well. For some reason, those people just find a way to weed themselves out. Now, is this person a self-starter? Does this person have influence? Are they teachable, coachable, and trainable? And the fourth check is, are they financially able to get started in the business today? And there's several different levels that a person can get started. Now, if they're not financially able, do you take them off your list? No. What I'm saying is now you have 4 different categories of people. And what I do is I take that list and I go down that list and I put check marks by each person's name. Does this person have influence? Yes. Is this person right here self-starter? Yes. This person coachable, teachable, and trainable? Yeah. This person financially able to get started in the business? From my opinion, yes. Is a 4-checker. And now what you'll find is this here. Out of a list of 100 people, typically, remember, you associate with people who are like you. And what you do is this here. If your self-image can handle it, have somebody else, like your upline, evaluate whether you're a 4-checker, 3-checker, or 2-checker. And it's okay. Typically, that's the largest percentage of people that you're going to have on your list. Now, you take that list of people that you've got, and you get with your support member, your support team, your upline. Here are my list of resources. Here's my multi-million-dollar business, the foundation for my multi-million-dollar business. So you've got that list. You made it long. You're not prejudging people. You're not making a decision beforehand on whether they can build a business or not. They're making that decision themselves. You've categorized them. You got a local list. You got a long-distance list. And now you are ready to get started. See, you're focused now. You got to listen. You're focused. You got purpose. Don't put names on a list just because somebody said it. Put names on a list with a purpose. Now what your purpose is to sift and sort through that list, and we're going to talk about how to invite the invitation process.
This is getting more exciting by the minute. Now's the perfect time to categorize the first 20 people.
You got your list. Your list is long. Your list is strong. A lot of resources. See, the other reason for that big list, remember I talked about posture? Posture simply means this, that you don't care whether or not they get involved in your business when you have a big list. You got a small list, you care. And they know it. And that's why they don't get in. When people know that you care about whether or not they're going to get started, they don't get started. When people know that you don't care whether or not that they get started because you're going to find somebody else, they want to know a little bit more and they get started. Guys, I'm giving you, if you understand these basics here, this right here is what I learned and I became a master at. Over and over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over and over again, I became a master at learning these basic principles and foundational things in the industry of network marketing. And that's what ultimately led to my success. When I was hooked up with the right mentorship, when I was hooked up with the right coaches and the people and the right system that we had in place. So now you got a big list. You don't care whether or not they get involved. And what you want to do is this. With that list of people, you want to process that list of people in the shortest amount of time possible. Why? You build up momentum, and I always give an equation. P equals MV. Momentum equals mass times velocity. The bigger the list of names and the faster you go through them equals the bigger the momentum that you'll have in your business. You wonder why you see people who get involved in the business, next thing you know, they go from 0 to silver in the first 30 days, or they go from 0 to gold in the first 60 days or the first 90 days. It's because they had a big list of people that they put through a process in a very short period of time, and their group did the exact same thing. Remember, your group will typically duplicate 20% of what you do right and around 80% of what you do wrong. And all you need is 20% of the people in your group. If you're doing it right, building a big list of names, going through them in a short period of time, you only need 20% of people to do the same thing with you. And now that's what we call momentum. You don't have momentum by yourself. You have momentum by developing proper work habits and having a few people duplicate the exact same thing that you're doing. Your whole group won't do it. I don't expect 80% of the people to do what I'm talking about today. I'm looking for 5 people to do what I'm talking about today. Just 5. And I'm not going to pick who you are. Just 5. 5 people, and we can create momentum with 5 people doing and mastering these fundamentals that I'm talking about. Just 5%. 5. So now you've got your group, you've got your, because cream will always rise to the top. They'll watch and see what you're doing, and they're like, man, he's processing a lot of people. Every time I call him, he says he's meeting with somebody. Every time I call him, he says he's showing the plan. And guess what? The 5%ers, or that 20% of the people in your group, they're going to duplicate what you're doing. They're going to say, man, he's gone all the time. Well, maybe I need to be out showing the plan. And guess what? They'll do it. And now you've got so much activity going on in a short period of time, your business doesn't have a choice but to explode because you're putting so many people through the process. Well, let's talk about the invitation process and how you get people to see the plan. You guys have seen us do the baseball diamond. I'm not going to talk about warm market right now, the warm market process, but I want to talk about the invitation process because this is very important. Most of you right now, what you do is you throw away hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars every single day by how you get on the phone and you improperly invite people to see the opportunity. An improper invite means this: that person that just gave me this $100,000 to get Wendell in, I just gave it right back to him by doing an improper invite because he's not coming. And I just messed it up. I messed it up. Remember, this is my philosophy here. Every person that I sponsor in the business is not one person. Network marketing, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 11. This right here is exponential growth. Every person that I sponsor in the business, Jay, is another 20 people that I'll be able to put into that person's business within the first 30 days. Every person that I sponsor, I'll put 20 people in their business right away. Bam. That's what my goal is. Get 20 people in right away. Because now, Ludolph, I got 20 people. Each 20 represents how many? Another 20. That's 400 people. See, that's what I picture. See, I don't picture sponsoring a person and having one person. Those of you who picture that, change your picture. Change your thought process. One person doesn't equal one person. How many of you in here, raise your hands if you knew me before this company? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You follow what I'm saying? But because I knew him, how many of you are in his group, in Ed's group? You follow what I'm saying? Oh, all the hands just popping up like popcorn now. So because I met Ed, because I met Regina, I've been introduced to thousands of people. 1 doesn't equal 1. You follow what I'm saying? Now, you've got your list. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start the invitation process. We're going to start making what we call some phone calls. This is that 5,000-pound gorilla that most of people are afraid of in the industry of network marketing. How many of you honestly find it very difficult to make phone calls? Keep your hands up right quick. Keep your hands up if you find it difficult to make phone calls. Okay, now, hold on for a second. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. I'm going to show you how to make it very simple. Keep your hands up. Yeah. Go get some exercise. Y'all need to hold those phones. That's why you want to put your hands down. You ain't been holding that phone up. Got to keep your hands up. Now, Bill Gates sent out an email that you got. Hold on for a second. Keep your hands up. Show you how to make it not difficult. And said, for every person that you call and offer an opportunity to come and work with him and be mentored by him, he's going to put $100 in your bank account for every person that you call, whether they want to work for him or not. How many of you would be afraid to pick up the phone and call people? Keep your hands up if you'd still be afraid. You will be afraid? No. Why? Because you got a guarantee. Now, this is not putting anybody down, but I just want to give it to you straight. That's called job mentality. That's called, I'll do something if you can guarantee me a result. And that's okay. Change. Just change. You cannot be successful in this industry of network marketing if you have job or employee mentality. You've got to be able to see the future. You've got to be able to create your own guarantee. See, nobody guaranteed me any success. I created my own guarantee. I guaranteed that I go out and do the work. How many of you would guarantee that you'll go out and just do the work anyway without a guarantee? I'll tell you guys, take it on faith. Take this business on faith. A year, 2 years on faith. You'll make money in the process. You may not get rich and get all of your dreams in the process. You'll make money, but guess what? The key thing is that you'll be changing in that 2-year process. And the change is what's going to bring about the results. So now it's easy for everybody to work the phone if you switch to wealth mentality and you have a big dream. You have to find what motivates you. If something that you know that motivates you, well, guess what? This is what you do. If you've typically been afraid to work the phone, what you do is this. Write a check to yourself, if this is one of your goals, for $1,000 or $10,000 or something like that. Make up some type of check written to you and paste it right there on the telephone. See, guys, you have to motivate yourselves. Don't wait for external motivations. You know, that's why I say you start with a dream, and now take those dreams and post them all around you. You know, put little sayings together. Put little, whatever it is. If you're tired of your job and you want freedom, nickname it the freedom tool. Don't call it a telephone. This is the freedom tool. I got to use my freedom tool. I'm telling you guys, if you change the name of something, you have a different picture of what it is. Now, guess what you picture that as? A freedom tool. That means every time you use it, you're getting closer or one step to your freedom. You follow what I'm saying? Instead of, calling it a telephone. When you have that list, this is what you want to do. You want to designate a time that you're actually going to make phone calls. Designate a time that you're going to make phone calls. Any time is a good time. I'm not going to give you a specific time. Just don't make phone calls when you should be at a business briefing or a training or at some other event. That's team time. That's commitment time. Okay, that's show time. Typically, I don't like to call people, me personally, after 1 a.m. But you know who those people are. Now, based on how you're going to call them, some people you can sponsor them right away. You call them at 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm serious. See, you guys got to get excited about this thing. Another example. You figured out it was a gold mine off of 59. 15 40-foot trucks turned over, gold bars. The mayor calls and says, hey, listen, get what you want for the first hour. You're not going to call your buddy at 1 a.m. in the morning? Oh, she's asleep. He's asleep. No, you're going to pick up the phone and call him. Well, guess what? You found a gold mine. Try it. Somebody who you haven't talked to, you call somebody, hey, listen, sorry to wake you up. I found the gold mine. I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I found a gold mine. You're talking about this business, though. Where is it? What I need to do? Listen, I need your credit card to put about $1,000 on it. Guys, I sponsored my first 7 people like that. Y'all laughing. I'm telling you how to become rich. I sponsored my first 7 people that way. I called them up and said, hey, listen, I didn't say a gold mine. I said, hey, listen, I found it. I can't explain it. It's an internet business. I can't explain anything. I need a credit card and put $1,000 on it. I'll call you back, tell you the details. The first 6 people that I did that with gave me their credit card, didn't even know what it was. Why? I was excited, and they knew that I was just on to something. And now, this is before I had ever made any money in network marketing. So I didn't have this track record of being successful. No, I didn't have a track record of being successful in this business. But I was excited. I found a way for me to get rid of the job. I found a way for me to have more money in my bank account. I found a way for me to get the things out of life that I wanted so that I can bring about the physical monetary equivalent to get rid of the things that I didn't want so that I can have all the things that I did want. And I was fired up and excited about it. So it was very simple for me to make those phone calls. But now, you set up a designated time that you're going to make phone calls. When you're making phone calls, make sure that you're mentally clear. Make sure that you have no distractions around you whatsoever. Make sure that the dog is put up. Make sure that the kids understand that. The thing I had to do with Holton, I had to have a reward system. Because he busted my room, he's in Taekwondo. He'd come in and kick the door in and do a karate move, and I'm on the phone, telling something, just doing an invite, and I got to, do all that type of stuff, so I had to tell them. I say, listen, and I set up a reward system. Guys, I'm telling you, you can do anything if you get creative enough. I set up a reward system. I say, hey, listen, when I'm on the phone, and if this door is closed, and I do like this before I get started, you give me a certain amount of time to do this, and you will earn 50 points. See, we got a point system in our house. He goes out and do things that he's supposed to do. He gets points towards things that he wants. I'm working with him on a goal system already. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, guess what? Even though he wants to kick that door in, he won't do it because he wants 50 points. Because if he gets enough points, that's how he got a PS2 for Christmas. Because I wasn't buying that stuff, but he earned enough points through disciplined activity so that he can get the stuff that he wanted. And so I set up that reward system. That's why I don't have to worry about my door being karate chopped down anymore. Okay? Now, so you make sure that your atmosphere is right. Make sure that you're standing up. Make sure that you've been listening to something positive. Guys, put in one of the tapes or one of the CDs that you've listened to before you make phone calls. If it's been a challenge for you, put in something like that. Now, the other thing is this here. This is how you can get creative. Have your phone, what I call your war room or whatever it is that you're going to have, the area that you're going to make phone calls. This is one thing I found out here. How many of you would be afraid to make phone calls if I was standing right next to you, Brad was standing right next to you, Susan Walsh was standing right next to you, Regina Baker was standing right next to you, Durwin was standing right next to you, Ed was standing right next to you, Kenneth and Tanja was standing right there next to you, and we're in the room. How many of y'all would be afraid to pick up the phone and call a prospect? No. Well, why don't you take pictures of us and paste them on your wall? See, y'all are laughing. Y'all are laughing. This is, guys, I'm sharing you how to be successful. Take pictures of us and put them on your wall. And put the telephone right in front of us. And guess what? And you can write words that are coming out of our mouths. Out of my mouth, you can put this little bubble saying, hey, pick up the phone, call them, and you can be a platinum. And guess what? Every time you look at my picture, you're programming yourself. Regina, she's telling you, hey, listen, I didn't like the phone before, but now I'm free because I picked up the phone and made phone calls. That's what's coming out of her mouth. And so you put what you want coming out. And now every time you walk into that room, it's a positive room. It's your little area. Guys, I'm telling you, you do it for a short period of time and you won't need the pictures. I'm just trying to show you how to get from where you are to where you want to go. Create your own environment to change your attitude. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't wait to come to training for us to create a positive attitude for you. Do it yourself. Wealth mentality versus employee mentality. Do it yourself. You own your own business. There's no limitations at all. There's no competitors except you and your ability to picture what you want. Create that atmosphere. And so now, guess what? You've got myself. You've got all of us right here. You've got all these top income earners right there waiting for you. Just right there looking at you. You know how it is when you put a picture on the wall. No matter where you go, their eyes looking at you. You can't hide. You can't run from us. And now you pick up that phone and you start dialing because your buddies, your heroes are there. The people that you respect are there. The people that you admire are there. The next thing you know, you have people having you on their wall. That's when you know you've become successful. Use your little digital camera. Blow the picture up. Put it on the wall. You know what? People think you're crazy. Those who think you're crazy, guarantee you 5 years from now, if they don't change, they'll be in the same financial situation where when they come visit you, I guarantee you they'll visit you in a different neighborhood. See, people thought I was crazy for putting all this pink, green, pastel color paper all over my house with affirmations on it. They walk in, especially people who came to deliver things at my house. What's all this stuff? They thought I was crazy. That's why they were delivering stuff to my house and nothing was being delivered to their house. You follow what I'm saying? Now, so you create your environment. Now, this is what you do. Once you do that, it's ready to make those phone calls. When you make those phone calls, you're upbeat. You've already created your environment. You're reading the words. Edwin Haynes is telling you, hey, listen, I used to be shy as a church mouse. Now I make phone calls with ease. Regina's saying, I used to be shy as well. Now I make phone calls all the time. Kenneth Simmons says, hey, listen, the reason I'm #1 recruiter is because we made phone calls. You can do it. And you're looking at us doing it. You're motivated. You're excited. You're standing up. Why are you standing up? Because when you stand up, your voice inflections are like what mine are right now. That means that you exude a little bit more excitement, a little bit more enthusiasm. And the people that you're actually calling, they need to know that you are excited. They need to know that you are a little bit different and that you've got something a little different than you've had before. So you can't call them with your normal self. You call them with your normal self, expect them not to get in. Something's got to be different about you.
That's a lot of great information to digest. Before we go into brain overload, why don't we take a 30-second mental break, and when we come back, I'll teach you my greatest invitation secret. It's called the phrase that pays. Now that you've built your list and you understand the importance of setting posture, let's learn the 3 steps of a successful invite. Now remember, mastering these 3 steps is what allows you to turn your...
The couple that we're going to introduce is from right here in Houston, Texas. All right, they're the leaders. That's right. That's right. Folks, the couple that we're going to introduce right now are gold executives in our company, top 10 income earners in less than 14 months. Have made very serious income in the network marketing industry, income several $100,000 a year plus. Now, this couple also serves on the Leadership Council, advising our CEO on a weekly basis on very detailed and very specific direction of where this company is to go. This couple also advises Brad and Marcia Hager on their weekly leadership call as well, advising the Hager Marketing Group in what direction that we're taking. And in addition, for the year 2003, this gentleman here was elected by his peers as the 2002 Man of the Year. Yeah, that's right. Now let's all stand and give a big, huge Houston welcome to Holton and Erlene Buggs.
Awesome, guys. We're very excited to be here, obviously, and thank you for that awesome welcome. And I'll tell you guys, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to turn it over to the person who actually is the muscle behind the madness. You know, I'm out front doing the easy part. This stuff here is easy, standing on stage. And I'll tell you guys, our business would be a fraction of what it is today if it wasn't for my wife. I mean, she does the hard part. I tell you, she definitely deserves a whole lot more time on stage than I do. She never wants to get up here. And so don't take it lightly, guys. I'm telling you, when you see us brutes up here, it's normally the women who's actually doing all the work, okay? But actually, I want you to hear from my beautiful bride, Erlene.
Thank y'all so much. I mean, I feel so welcomed in this room. That is so fabulous. All the claps and applause. And, this has been a life-changing weekend for us. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I feel something special in this room. And I have seen the emotion from some people go from, a little bit, what are we going to expect from this weekend to, man, I got exactly what I came for and then some. So congratulations to you who decided to change whatever you needed to change to be here. This can be the first day of the rest of your life. And that's exciting when you come and hear Brad say, you know what, the main ingredient in everything that we do in this business is you. Man, how much more clearer can that be? It took us years to get that. Just that one thing was worth the whole weekend. And, Holton and I, like he said, we've been in the industry for a while, so we're not just starting out. But, the reason why we found so much passion in this business is for our family. We have a 5-year-old. I don't know if many of you have heard us talk about him, but, he is the most incredible little boy. And that's my why. We've had to make a lot of sacrifices to be up here. It's not easy. I wish I could say that it was easy. But it's probably been the hardest thing we've ever had to do. But when I can stay at home with my son and not have somebody in control of my life, I'd do it all over again, and then some. I found out real early that I was allergic to bosses. They don't do well on me. But I tell you what I'm most excited about is the people that we have coming on. We have a great team of people who are committed to their dreams and goals. And it's nothing like being able to help someone in the process of achieving your goals. We're going to do what we do in this business anyway. But if I could help a whole lot of people, in addition to what I have to do for my family, that's the best kind of combination. I couldn't do that working for a bank. I used to work for a bank when I was in college. And, there was no value there. No value there for what I wanted to do with my life. I want to make a difference. There's a whole lot of things I want to do. And standing behind a counter, as a teller or a loan officer just wasn't it. We've had an opportunity to make an impression on a 74-year-old woman. You guys, I don't know if you've met Rose Graham, but if you haven't had a chance, go up to her, shake her hand. She's an incredible lady. I couldn't do that. I couldn't have an impression on someone, after they've passed the age of retirement, being able to put extra money in their pocket, having her not have to worry about being a burden to her family. That's incredible. That is incredible, and I'm so grateful and thankful for this opportunity. The people that we're most going to impact aren't even in this room yet. The people that we're going to make the most impression in changing their lives and doing things for their family, we haven't even met them yet. So when you're out there, don't be afraid to extend your hand out to somebody. You never know what people are suffering with. There are a lot of people out there who are looking for something. Don't listen to the people who tell you that this won't work, because I'm here to tell you there are people that are praying that you're going to extend your hand. Don't be afraid to do that. Please don't. I thank God every day for the phone call my husband got that reintroduced us to this industry, because we were in another company and we didn't make a lot of money for a lot of years. We were broke, negative. We had a furniture company that owned us. There was a point in time in our lives where we were more concerned about things than money. That was an education. We had to learn that, the most important thing for me and for my family is to have freedom. Cash is the only thing that can do that, financial freedom. Otherwise, I'd be working for somebody else for the rest of my life. So I don't know what your dreams and goals are, but I'm here to say that, do yourself and your family a favor. Find that out. Find out why you're working this business. What is it that you really want from your life? What is it that your family needs? Find that out. That is the most important thing. And I can tell you what, when we really got serious about it, really got committed to our dreams and goals, our business has never been the same. Our lives haven't been the same. I wake up every day, I'm so grateful. Just little things like having a maid. I don't know what the ladies out there want, but you know what? I love my house clean, but I tell you what, I don't like to clean it. And it doesn't take a lot of money to do that. Pay a person $100 not to be stressed out about those kinds of things. Lifestyle is, oh my God, doing whatever I want to do. I'm a lady of leisure. But thank you very much for your time, and God bless you all.
Okay, guys, that's the reason why we go out there and take the nose and take it on the chin every single day, because I'll tell you, without my wife, our household definitely wouldn't run the same. It'd be very difficult to build a business, but you know what? It didn't start just now. We're 30 years old right now, and when Erlene and I first met, and actually first called ourselves what we call dating, she was 12 years old and I was 13. So we've been together since we were 13 years old. So that was like junior high school sweetheart. Okay? And so that means I had to raise her into the lady she is today. Right? I know that was going to get me in trouble. But anyway, guys, we're really excited about what's going on here. But the first thing we have to do is this, guys. We have to give credit where credit is due. There's some other people that have really contributed to our success in this business. And, we have to thank our upline. Because the thing I'll tell you guys is this. You know what? If it weren't for the people in our upline, guess what? None of us would be here. None of us would be here. So I have to thank Lisa Head and Tex Sandlin, and I have to thank Ron Goles for taking me by the hand when I first got started. He said, hey, listen, I'm going to show you the business side of this entire thing. So, I have to thank Susan and Gary Walsh, our upline platinums. Guys, those people are what I call the heartbeat of this company. They are the absolute heartbeat of this company. Just transparent, just totally transparent people. And those are people that if you ever need them, guess what? They are there for you. So I'm so fortunate to be a part of their organization. It's just incredible. And then what else can I say about Brad and Marcia, guys? If it wasn't for the vision that they had, if it wasn't for the trials and tribulations that they had gone through, because they could have given up on this industry a long time ago. They could have said, hey, listen, we've had our ups and downs. You know what? Forget it. We're just going to go ahead and start us a traditional business. But because he still had the dream and he had a chance to look at hundreds of companies, and guess what? He chose this one here. And because he chose that company, Now, my wife and I, we have an opportunity. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we have the success that we have today is because of the mentorship and the direction and the guidance of Brad and Marcia Hager, guys. And I'll tell you one thing. If you ever want to be extremely successful, I'm not saying that you don't have other qualified people in your upline, but what we've done, if you want to know really what we've done, some people ask me, what's the secret? Since I've got involved in this business, and Brad can tell you, every time he's on stage, I just model what he's doing. And I look at the way that he does it, and I'm just taking notes, not on what he's saying, I'm taking notes on why he's saying it and the purpose behind what he's doing, because this guy is an absolute genius, in my opinion. And then his wife, Marcia, she's just so calm. Brad talks 100 miles a minute, and Marcia, she's just like one of those ducks just floating on top of water, but at the bottom, she's just pedaling like crazy. But you can't tell, just so graceful. So number one, thanks to those guys, because if it wasn't for them, we definitely wouldn't have the opportunity that we have here. But as Arlene talked about our story, it's been incredible. I mean, she did talk about us having experience in network marketing. We started when we were in college. And we didn't have a whole lot of success. We didn't. 7 years. 7 years, we didn't have a whole lot of success. But I'll tell you the reasons for that a little bit later. And what we decided to do at that time, we learned that if we want to control our own destiny, it's going to have to start by owning your own business. And we already knew that we couldn't work for a company for 30, 40, 50 years and expect to have glory days. And so we started our own company. And guess what, guys? We were doing it. At that time, we were making what I call good money. We were making about $150,000, $180,000 a year with our company. And we were around 22 years old when I started that company. And we had what we call a decent lifestyle, fair lifestyle at that time. Eating out, nice cars, nice homes, things like that. Wife wasn't working. I had my own business that really owned me. And then guess what happened 4 years later? Didn't plan on this. 4 years later, everybody else found out the same products that we were selling, they start selling them the same exact way, which made our income go down because we had to sell 4 times as much furniture to make the same income because competition set in, prices got reduced. But guess what? That left us with the lifestyle that was about up here. But our income was down here. And guys, I don't know if any of y'all ever lived like that, but that's called being broke. That's exactly what it was. And that's where we were 3.5 years ago before we found the industry of internet network marketing again. And you know what? What we did is we got on our knees and we were just praying and we were asking for God to send something into our lives so that we could make a difference financially. And we thought it was going to be more customers for our business. It wasn't. You know what it was? It was that telephone call, probably like the one that you got. A buddy of mine called me up and said, hey, Holton, listen, there's some people making a fortune on the internet. We need to take a look at what they're doing. And guess what Mr. Broke Guy was doing at that time? I was so negative. I was negative. Told him all the things of why it wouldn't work. And, everybody's a crook. Everybody's going to jail, all that type of stuff. And the reason I said that because misery loves company. And I didn't want to see him go out and do something successful when I'm over here just selling for mediocrity at that time. Didn't know what I was going to do. 3 days later, he gave me another phone call. 3 days later. Okay, and I'm so happy that he gave us that second phone call because what happened was this, guys. He says, listen, we really need to take a look at what these guys are doing. And at that time, see, I had gone back and I had gotten a job. My furniture business went down, so that means we couldn't make enough money from my own business to support our lifestyles. We were what I call financially dependent on somebody else to provide a job for us. I couldn't stand my job. I was working in sales for a company. Didn't like the job, didn't like the boss, didn't like the secretary. I didn't like anybody over there. I just didn't. And he called me back. He says, Holton, listen, we need to go ahead and take a look. This is what I asked him, okay? I said, listen, who in this company is making some money? You know why? Because, see, my grandfather told me when I was 8 years old, he said, son, listen, if you ever want to become successful in life, find somebody who's done what you want to do and duplicate what they've done. My grandfather died with a 4th grade education, but he died with a whole lot of money. Now, he didn't leave any of it for me, okay, but he had a whole lot of it. And I took that advice and I said, who in this company is making some money? And he proceeded to tell me about this gentleman named Darren. And we called up Darren. Darren was in Austin. Now, guys, let me share something with you about Darren. Okay, this is my first exposure to internet network marketing. He puts me on the phone with this guy, Darren. Now, Darren is from South Carolina. Excuse me, Brad, but he had a horrible accent. He talked faster than Brad, but the only difference was this. This guy had a speech impediment. And when you mix all of that stuff together, you have no idea what they're saying. But the only thing that I got from what Darren was saying was this. He was going a mile a minute. Next thing you know, I heard this calm and easy. I heard, I'm 32 years old, and I've been retired for 8 years. And that I heard very clear. And I reached over to my buddy. I said, you know what? Okay. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, how'd you do that? Because my parents told me, you retired at 65. And this guy said, I've been, working with the company for X amount of years, and I've been making around a $40,000 income on a monthly basis for the last 8 years. And I told my buddy, I said, this guy has to be lying because companies don't pay people that amount of money who talk that bad.
I say, but you know what? I want to find out what he's lying about. And I asked the guy, I said, listen, you know, I'm not interested in making that $40,000 that quickly. What I was interested in, guys, is this. We were just looking for something to get us back to even flow. We were behind on our bills at that time about $500 a month. And I asked the guy, I said, listen, will you still work with me if I only want to make $500 on a monthly basis? And can I get there in the next 2 months? Guys, I'm going to share with you how small my goals were 3.5 years ago. I want to make $500 per month. Now, guys, the internet is creating trillions of dollars. I wanted $500 of it on a monthly basis. So don't look at me now and think, oh, man, these guys have always had big dreams. Yeah, we've been big dreamers and had big goals. But in this industry, guess what, guys? I had 7 years of never making any money before. Okay, 7 years of not making money. And so why would I expect to all of a sudden just become a multimillionaire overnight? I wanted $500 a month. And that would have been a huge month for me compared to my last 7 years. And he says, you know what? Not only will I help you, he said, here, I'm going to give you this to do. And he said, if you go ahead and do this, and this, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to get that type of income. And guys, this is what we did because we didn't have a choice. I had to make $500 a month. Okay, or they were going to come and start repossessing all that stuff that we had borrowed on credit, if you know what I mean. And what we did is we got in, and I didn't do just part of what he said. We did twice the work that he told us. Okay, and guess what happened, guys? We weren't making, we didn't do $500 our second month in business. Actually, 7 weeks later from the day that I talked to that guy and he gave me those instructions, which was less than 2 months away to make $500, 7 weeks later, guys, I was able to walk away from my job that I hated, and I retired at 27 years old because this guy told me exactly what to do, and we did double what we were supposed to do and then triple what we were supposed to do, and the rewards were absolutely huge. And I never forget when I called in to work, and this is what happened. Work for a company. Anybody here ever been in sales where you have those Monday morning sales meetings? How many of y'all hate those Monday mornings, especially early in the morning? Well, we had our meetings, they were at 8 o'clock. And I had a manager, and I can't say his name, but his initials are PAT. But anyway, and I never forget, it's 8 o'clock coming on that Monday morning. And like I said, our income at that time had got up to a point more per week than we were making in a month and a half after 7.5 weeks based on what we were doing in networking. And so we woke up 8 o'clock that morning. I should have been at the office at 8 o'clock. At 8:30, guess what I started to do? I went downstairs and we started eating breakfast at 8:30. We finished breakfast maybe around 8:50, somewhere around 9 o'clock. I make a decision to go ahead and call Pat. So I pick up the phone and we call Pat. And I'll tell you guys, if you work for Pat, you don't be late at one of Pat's sales meetings. And so we pick up the phone, I call Pat. So yeah, this is Pat. I say, hey, Pat, how you doing? This is Holton. He say, don't you know you should have been here, blah, 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 blah. You should have been here at this meeting. And I'm like, ho, watch who you talking to, buddy. Let's just watch it right now. I said, well, I'm just calling in. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, I'm calling in well. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm not coming in anymore. Okay? And that was because, guys, what we did was this. What we did is we just put our nose down we didn't have a choice. It was like it wasn't even an option for us. And, guys, that's when success starts to take place. And this is what we did, guys, and this is the motto of what our story is. And so if people always want to know, well, Holton, what have you done since you've been in this company to become successful? Guys, all we've done is what I call eat the crust first. Well, what do we mean by that? Some people don't like pie crust, especially when they burn it. Well, I'll tell you what, if you just turn that pie around and you eat the crust first, guess what you have to end with? You have all the good stuff to end with. And so you got to get the hard parts out first. And so when it came to recruiting, when he told us, hey, listen, what you need to do is you need to sponsor this amount of people, I didn't like recruiting people. But guess what I did? I got the hard part out first, and I started recruiting the people, so we ate the crust first. He told us, hey, listen, Holton, you're going to have to learn this. You're going to have to learn that. Guess what? Those are things that I wasn't comfortable doing. Guys, you don't believe this. I know you don't believe this, but I used to be afraid to speak in front of people. Right now, today, even when I do presentations, I get jitters before I come up on stage. You can ask my wife. I get nervous before I come on stage. I'd rather not be talking in front of people. But guess what I had to do, guys? I had to eat the crust first. You know why? Because my joy of freedom and living the way we live right now is a whole lot bigger than my fear of speaking in front of other people. And when I'll tell you guys, this is what I had to realize. This is what I had to realize. You've got to do the uncomfortable things. You've got to do the uncomfortable things. The size of your dream will always be determined by the size of the obstacles that will stop you from achieving them. And so now our dreams are bigger than life because that's the only thing that's going to stop us from achieving our goals. But when your dream is only as big as your job, guess what? Someday the boss will come and tell you, hey, listen, it's either going to be network marketing or this job. And guess what happened? You'll lose your dream and you'll go for the job. When your dream is as big as your family, you know what? Some of you maybe have a wife or a husband that may not be so supportive. And if they tell you, hey, if you go back out there and try to make me rich, I'm leaving you. And I'm not telling you what to do in that scenario, but when I got married, it was my choice for richer or poor. I'm choosing richer. And so, I wasn't going to leave it up to my wife to determine whether or not I was going to help her become successful. And so I'm telling you guys, what we did is we just got a huge, huge, huge dream, and we just started going to work. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. Why? Because we had a lot of friends that did not get involved into the business. I'm talking about the ones that how many of y'all have people that you just knew were going to get involved? Guess what, guys? We had those people too. We had them lined up. I already knew that right now they're supposed to be diamonds in this business. We just knew that they were going to get involved. And guess what, guys? They just said no. They said no. And guess what? It hurt a little bit, but it didn't stop where we were trying to go. And that was the key thing, guys. It wasn't easy, especially when you drive across town, or you drive not even across town, you drive several hundred miles to go and present to somebody, and nobody shows up, not even the person you were going to do the presentation for. And so that type of stuff wasn't easy. It wasn't easy when we were building the business and we didn't have money, and there were times that we had to make a decision between whether we were going to make sure that we had the business briefing or whether we were going to pay our mortgage payment. You know what some people do? Well, they pay the mortgage payment. But what are you going to do next month? You can't afford the mortgage payment or the business briefing then. And so what we did, we ate the crust first, and we took care of business, because if we took care of business, that means that next month we would have more money for mortgage payment and for our business briefing. And so what we did, we just made sure that we got our priorities in order. And I'll tell you guys, some people look at us right now. We came into this company, and yeah, we had some success, right away. And yeah, we've got some successes that are going on. We got a group that's really on fire. Y'all haven't seen anything yet. And some people say, man, you know what? Y'all just did it real quick. It just happened for you overnight. Guys, let me tell you something. No, it didn't happen for us overnight. Let me give you an example. If you ever want to measure what our success has been, I want to give you an example of our success, of what it's taken for us to get to where we are in this business now. How many of you have ever heard of the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? A Chinese bamboo tree is a tree that they grow over in China, obviously. I did some research, and I figured that out after about 12 hours of research. Yeah. And it's kind of like the guy who goes up, to McDonald's and say, hey, listen, how much are those 99-cent hamburgers? But anyway, what you do is this, guys, because you have to be persistent. You got to be persistent. And so Chinese bamboo trees, what you do is you take the seeds and you plant them in the ground. And what you have to do for the first week is you have to water it, a certain amount of water it needs every day. But not only for the first week, the second week, third week, fourth week, the first year, you're watering this plant. Guess what? You see no results whatsoever. Now, you don't see one single piece of evidence that you even planted some seeds. I'm talking about for a whole entire year. Guess what happens the second year? You have to water it every single day, a certain amount of water. And in any day or any time period or any time frame, within a 5-year period of time that you miss watering this plant, giving it the proper water and nutrients, guess what? You have to start the entire process over. And for 5 long years, you will continue to water and go out there every single day and water, and you don't see any results. And I draw a parallel because, there were times before when we weren't as good showing the plan. We go out there and show the plan, won't sponsor. We'll show the plan, won't sponsor. We'll share the plan, don't sponsor. We'll share the plan, don't sponsor. We'll share the plan, don't sponsor. We share the plan and don't sponsor. So we weren't seeing any results coming in. But guess what happens with the Chinese bamboo tree after 5 years of persistent and consistent activity? After a period of about 3 to 4 weeks, after 5 years of consistent watering, that tree will shoot up about 90 feet tall in 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I've got a question for you. How long did it take that tree to grow? Was it 3 to 4 weeks? Or was it 5 years? So, guys, don't look at our success and say, you know what, you guys have only been here at, just this amount of months here, 14 months, and you're so successful. No, guys, it's taken us, we've been in this industry 11 years. It took us 7 years of cultivating the ground. Guess what? The key thing about the system that Brad has put in place in weekends like this is that you don't have to take 7 years. Because, see, I didn't have this type of training. We didn't have a system like this. It was like throwing mud up on the wall and seeing what sticks. It was the scenario Brad talked about. Our sponsor would tell us, hey, listen, keep doing what you're doing. keep doing what you're doing. And I say, hey, I made $11 last month. He'll say, keep doing what you're doing. And so with this system that we've got, I tell you guys, it's been absolutely incredible. But that's what it was. It was just consistent effort, consistent effort. Let me give you something that you want to write down, because this is a motto of what we live by. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. Commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. And see, what we noticed is this, guys, is that when we were doing the business, you know, you have those distributors that they have one real good week, or they have 2 real good weeks, and they hit it real hard for 2 weeks, and what they'll do is they'll lay off. Okay? Those are the ones that are very unstable, because they'll come up to you. Some days they're high, some days they're lower than a pregnant ant. And so what we wanted to do was this. We wanted to make sure that within a certain time frame, and what we did is we made sure that we locked out 90-day segments that we were completely consistent. Okay? Because I could only be so consistent and so focused for 90 days at a time. And then maybe we take a week of, a break or whatever, and then 90 days again, we just hit it. And we didn't care about how long it was going to take. We never checked the results. We just went out there and we put the work effort in. And then afterwards, we start looking for some signs of success. But we already knew that if you plant, we were going to receive. We already knew that if we did exact same things that Brad talked about, that we were going to have the same incomes that he'd have. And that's all that we've done since we've been involved in this company. That's it. But the biggest thing was this, guys. We developed a huge, huge, huge why. We developed a huge, huge, huge dream. And that, I think that's the catalyst. That was the focal point. And we just let those long-term dreams and those long-term goals not stop us when we had short-term failures. Long-range dreams and goals keep you in the game when you have short-term failures. But when your goal is just, what are you going to do next week, and you don't accomplish it, that's what wipes you out. And all we've been doing now, guys, is we've just been sharing the story. People say, man, you guys are great at presenting. Guys, it's not about presenting. You know what we do? We just get up and we share our story with passion. You know why? Because I can look each person in the eye that I bring into this business without a blink, without a doubt, they can be successful in this business. When we believe that they can be successful in this business. And so when people get in, when we talk to them about the business, they don't get in because we make X amount of dollars per week. They get in because they know that we believe and that we know that we can help them make money. And if you're having a problem bringing those people into the business, check your belief. Check your belief level. It's not the program. It's not the people. It's not the system. It's your belief level. And guys, what are some of the results? Well, what does it accomplish for us? Because, sometimes you come here, you get all of the training, you get the why, you get Brad did an incredible job on getting you right yesterday. And then we talk about, the systems, the ad programs that he's put in place. But sometimes you don't see enough of the results. You don't see enough of the results. I just want to share with you in the last couple minutes, well, what has it meant for us to be successful in network marketing? What awaits each and every one of you if you just go out there and be consistent and persistent 90 days at a time in 90-day intervals and make a decision that you're going to work this business and quitting is not an option? First of all, if that's an option, it's not going to happen. Well, let me tell you what some of the results are. When I had that job, I told you I was able to flush that job. And now we've been financially independent since I was 27 years old. That was 3 years ago. Okay, guys, it's great to be able to earn your own money. You know why? Because I know if anything ever happens, I already know that I'm confident in our ability to go out there and create the income because I never got job dependent. So we were financially independent. That means now, guys, we sleep when we get tired of staying up. We wake up when we get tired of sleeping. Guys, that's fun. Okay, we don't even have a clock in our room, in our bedroom. You come to our room, we don't have a clock in our bedroom. You know why? We don't have anywhere to be if we don't want to be there. And all we wanted, guys, we really just wanted the taste of freedom. We have a 5-year-old son that she talked about. Incredible. I mean, he's a little genius. We pay more for him to go to private school than we paid for me and for her to go to college. And he's only 5 years old in kindergarten. You know why? Because we didn't say let's find the cheapest school that we can put him into that's convenient. We say let's find one of the top 5 schools in the city and let's go and interview these teachers and make sure that they're going to be able to handle a genius child. And let's not worry about what the cost is going to be. But you know what? That's called having choices, guys. That's called freedom. Guys, and I'm not embarrassed to say, we were able to go from having a car that we had to turn back into the dealership a while back when finance was real bad with our furniture business, to going out to the Lexus dealership and using the one payment plan. And we went out to West Side Lexus, and I never forget, I went over there, and we talked to the guy, and I say, that's the one I want, big LS 400 sedan. And he says, well, yeah, man. He said, how's your credit? I said, well, that's another story. I said, but I'll tell you what I'd like to do is this. We like that car. He said, we can put it into 60 payments for you. I said, great. I said, can I pay all 60 payments at one time? And guys, we purchased our car cash money. No payments at all. That's what this industry has been able to do for us. This past December, guys, you heard about the cruise that we went on. And guys, guess what? We've got 3 to 4 countries every single year that we'll go into different than the United States. We never thought about going to different countries. To us, Galveston was a great vacation. And so now those are the type of plans that this industry of network marketing is giving us. It's those type of freedoms. For Christmas, I was able to spoil my wife with a beautiful 4.5 carat diamond ring. Guys, if she has it, if you ever want to see it, she'll show it to you. Actually, you don't even have to come up there too close. You can see it from across the street over there. But guess what, guys? With that ring, but let me just share with you what the fruits have done. I'm showing you what the 90-foot tree has done in a short period of time, but the 7 years of planning it took to get it. 4.5 carat diamond ring that we were able to purchase. It cost more than my first brand new car, and we paid cash for the ring. Don't have any payments on it. We didn't finance it. Okay? Guess what? She just turned 30 years old last month, and this is what we did. We threw her an incredible surprise birthday party. Some of you had the pleasure of being there. And we didn't just do it second rate. We didn't just say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have a birthday party. We're going to just surprise her and say happy birthday. No, when you pulled up to our house, guess what? We didn't want, we knew it was going to be a lot of people, and we didn't want you to have to park all the way around the corner. So we had valet parkers at our house to pick you up at the front of my house and drive your car around the corner. And they ran back in the cold rain and stood out there. We had a live band, a 4-person band to be inside the house for music. We didn't want disco, we didn't want just a radio or just somebody spinning CDs. We wanted live music. I called up her mom and I said, hey, listen, I'm throwing your daughter a birthday party. Why don't you get on a plane tomorrow and I need you to be here and we're going to surprise her with that. We're just looking for all type of extras. We called up one of the companies that provided the nicest food there. We had them professionally cater the whole house of sweet parts. And I'll wrap it up with this, guys. What this whole weekend is all about. When God was putting together human creation and he had gotten everything done, he had figured out where he was going to put our mind. He figured out where he was going to put our right arm and our left arm and all that stuff. And it was 2 things left that he was looking to place. And that was success and happiness. And he had 3 little helpers, and one helper, was thinking, they say, well, you know what, I'll tell you what, we need to make sure that we take happiness and success, and we need to put it somewhere far, far away because we want man to be able to, challenge himself and go and get it, because if you give it right to him, it's just going to be so easy. And so the first little guy said, hey, I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? You see that mountain up there? Let's put it high, high, high up on the mountain, because you know what, nobody's ever climbed that mountain so far, and I doubt if he'll ever get it. And we'll make him stronger just because he tried to go and get it. And then God thought and said, well, you know what? Somebody will eventually climb that mountain. And then the other little helper said, you know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't we go way out there into the ocean, miles and miles and miles out. Let's just put happiness and success way down at the root, at the floor, thousands of feet below, because nobody will ever go down there and find it. And then one of the helpers said, well, you know what? Somebody eventually will go out there and find it. And then the smartest little helper said, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take happiness and success and put it right inside of man? Because you know what? 9 times out of 10, he'll never look for it. And so, guys, what we're saying is this: freedom, happiness, success. Guess where it is? It's right there inside you. And all you've got to do is open up, eat the crust first, and it all belongs to you, guys. We love you. Congratulations to each and every one of you guys. Awesome. The first step, be in a hurry. Be in a hurry. Well, what do you mean be in a hurry? Be in a hurry. You don't have a lot of time. This is not lollygag time. This is not time to socialize. This is not time to talk shop. And no, this is not time for that.
You're making a phone call with a purpose. So be in a hurry. The second thing, show value. And the third step, take it away. Every time you make a phone call, prospecting, guys, this is your formula. Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. Next time you come to training, I was going to ask you, when you're making a phone call, what's your purpose? Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. That is the formula. Remember, there's one objective for making phone calls. That was the formula, but there's only one objective. How many people believe that the objective is to sponsor people? Raise your hands. No, wrong objective. That's why it's hard for you to pick up the phone, because you're trying to sponsor them. And those who believe it's to sponsor people, I guarantee you're talking too much. And if you're talking too much, people are not coming out. When people are not coming out, you're getting frustrated. How many of you have felt like that before? You follow what I'm saying? The purpose of you making a phone call is to collect a decision. What do you mean collect a decision? I'm a decision collector. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to put that on my business card. Holton Bugs, decision collector. It's a conversation piece, first of all. But you're a decision collector. What do you mean? I just collect decisions. I get paid for decisions, yes and no. I'll show you how you get paid for people telling you no. How many of y'all love to get paid for people telling you no? Some of you say, man, I'd be platinum already if somebody, I'll show you how to do that, okay? Now, this is what you do here. You're going to be in a hurry. And I'm going to do some role play here. And I've got my list. I've got posture because I don't need anybody. I've got 500 people on my list, and I've got to get through them quickly anyway, so I don't care if Larry tells me he's not looking. I'm just looking for a decision. So I'm going to get on the phone, and I'm going to start a call, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of scripts that I've used in the past. Now remember what these scripts are. Scripts are typically, or really nothing more than a guideline of things that you really can stay within those lines, but more importantly, things that you should not say. That's what a script is. But you take that script and you incorporate it with your own personality. Everybody doesn't have the same personality, and things that work for me exactly the way I do them may not be the same to fit your personality. You follow what I'm saying? So now, can you use an exact script? You sure can. I didn't get this script right here that I'm going to give you. This wasn't originated by me. I learned this script from somebody else in network marketing who was a multimillionaire. And I took exactly what they said and made it work for me. I pick up the phone. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call. And let's say I've got Regina at the top of my list. Regina's on my list, and I'm going to give a phone call to Regina. Remember, what my purpose is to collect a decision. My formula is to be in a hurry, show value, and take it away. So Regina picks up the phone. The phone rings, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Regina? This is Holton. What are you up to?
Doing great.
Listen, Regina, I'm about to walk into a meeting. Don't have a lot of time, but I needed to ask you something real quick, Regina.
Okay.
Regina, if I found a way to make a fortune on the internet in the next 6 to 12 months, would you want to know about it?
Absolutely.
Listen, Regina, I'm working with some people right now, extremely successful. I'm about to meet with them shortly anyway. 7 o'clock at the Hilton Southwest Hotel off of 59 in Hillcroft. I need you to be there professionally dressed. You can be there at 7 o'clock, can't you?
Sure I can.
Great. I'll give her the directions, whatever it is. Regina, I will see you there on Thursday. Talk with you later. That's how simple an invite should be. If you're on the phone longer than 75 seconds, typically you're talking too long. Really, it's 60 seconds. 75 seconds, if you're on the phone 75 seconds or less, it's a great invite. If you're getting over 90 seconds to 2 minutes, they ain't coming. They ain't getting in the business. That's just what the numbers are. I was very quick. I was very purposeful. I let her know in the beginning that I didn't have a lot of time. And because she knew that in the beginning I didn't have a lot of time, she didn't ask me a lot of questions. How many of y'all get questions all the time when you call people? It's because your posture is weak, and it's because you're spending too much time getting to the message. And you're doing it with the lack of confidence. Sometimes you'll get rebuttals. And I'll just show you how to overcome them real quick. You'll get some mild rebuttals, and sometimes you'll get strong ones. Mild rebuttal. I'm calling, let's say Edwin's at the top of my list. And I'm going to call Edwin. Phone ring. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Edwin, how you doing, man? It's Holton.
Hey, Holton, how are you?
Oh, doing great, doing great. Hey, listen, I'm about to get on a conference call real quick. I don't have a lot of time, but hey, I need to ask you something real quick. You got a quick second?
Just a minute, man.
Listen, that's all I got anyway. Edwin, let me ask you a question. If the opportunity came up For you to make about $3,000 to $4,000 this month, would you take an hour out of your time to evaluate something?
Doing what?
Listen, I can't explain it all right now. It's about making that type of income. But would you take an hour out of your time to evaluate something?
Yeah, I can do that.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, listen, Ed, right now, this might not be for you. It may. I don't know. I'm working with a lot of people right now, making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. Some are making that per week. I've got an opportunity. I've got 2 tickets available, but I've got 10 other people that I need to call, and I thought of you first. So do you want to take that hour or do you not?
Where is this, Holton?
It's going to be at the Hilton Hotel, Southwest Freeway 59 in Hillcroft. Can you be there?
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's about?
I'll tell you what, Edwin, this is what we'll do here. Whenever you decide that you want to get some information, give me a call back. I've got some other people that I want to give these tickets to. I'll talk with you later. Goodbye. I've already told him I don't have a lot of time. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to chase me. I'm not about to chase him. Well, we got travel, and you could save money on travel, and we've got this wonderful medical plan, and you could save money on that. And we've got this shopping website, and it's got all kind of stuff on there. And now you're going into a 5-minute dissertation when you just told him you're about to get on a conference call. He said, man, this conference call must not be important. He don't have nothing going on. He just sat here and told me everything that went on with his business. No, I don't want to come. So thanks, Ed. Yeah, I think so. I'll try to be there. Let me share something with you guys. A try, a maybe, I'll think about it. It looks like I can. I should be. Anything other than a definite yes is a polite way of telling you that they are not coming. Don't be afraid to have a person tell you no. You want no or yes. You don't want maybes. People get off the phone, somebody tell them, I think I'll be there, and they get so excited, and they come to the business briefing. You know, I got 7 people who are supposed to come. And guess what? They were supposed to come because they told you they might be able to be there. And you took that as a yes because you were afraid to stand up for your multi-million-dollar business and have them make a decision for whether or not they were looking for the information that you asked them about. Get a decision right away. Get a decision. So you saw what I did is I was in a hurry with Regina and Ed. Listen, I don't have a lot of time. I'm about to get on a conference call. Some of you say, well, you know what? I may not going to be calling to get on the conference call, and I don't want to lie to my friends. Well, as soon as you hang up, call a conference call line. Just call it. That way you're not lying to them, right? I'm about to walk into a meeting. Well, you know, I don't want to tell my friends I'm not walking to a meeting, and they know I'm at home. Okay, call your wife and say, hey, we need to have a meeting real quick. Call your husband, hey, listen, we need to have a meeting real quick. And you have a meeting, hey, this business is awesome. Meeting's over. I'm telling you guys, what you have to do, you have to create your own realities, create your own environment for success. So the first thing, I was in a hurry. Second thing is, I show value. If I found a way to make a fortune on the internet in the next 6 to 12 months, would you want to know about it? I don't say, would you be interested? Would you be interested implies that they have to make a decision whether or not they're going to do it at this time. I'm not looking for a decision of whether or not they're going to do the business. I'm looking for a decision on whether or not they want to know about it. Would you want to know about it? Yes. Okay. Great. If you want to know about it, 7 o'clock here, hotel. If you're doing a PBR, hey, 7 o'clock, my house. Be here on time. Don't be afraid to ask people to be here on time. Some of you are afraid to tell people to be there on time because you think they may not come. You don't want them. If they don't respect you enough to be on time, you don't want them. Tell them, be on time. So I showed value. With Edwin, I had to take it away. Edwin, this may be for you. It may not be for you. So he wasn't an example of a mild take it away. He was an example of me taking it all away. Because I'm not going to get off the phone letting him think that he won. I'd rather get off the phone having my self-image built, me feeling strong and proud about my business, than letting him get off the phone thinking, yeah, he tried to call me and sucker me into a deal. And then you know what? I'm internalizing that, thinking that what he's thinking about me, and that's why some of you won't make more phone calls, because you're worried about what other people think about you. Let me share something with you. Other people that you've called that turned the business down, they're not thinking anything about you. they're going on with their life. How many of you recently had somebody knock on your door to try to sell you something? Some of you have. Now, did you buy it, Larry? No. Let me ask you a question. When you turned it down, did you go in the house and start talking about that person? And no, you just went on with your daily life. Now, what if that person thought that, man, he in there telling, raving about me and all this stuff, and then that person would have a real bad day and they wouldn't be a successful person in that business. They went on about it was next. You collecting a decision. See, I collected a decision from Edwin. I made the decision for him. No, he's not looking. I'm telling you guys, I don't get off the phone without a decision at all. I don't get off the phone without a decision. Now, there's some other approaches. There's some what we call backdoor approaches that you can use. For people that are 4 checkers, let's say you're a 2 checker and you know it. Be honest with yourself. If you know that you're a 2 checker, the worst thing you can do is to not be real with yourself right now, presently. If you're a 2 checker and you know it, work on becoming a 3 checker and then a 4 checker. But let's say you're a 2 checker and you got people on your list who are 4 checkers. And they don't respect your ability enough to listen to a business that you're doing. And you'll have some people like that. Those of you who have people like that, you can become more successful than the 4 checkers that are in here. And all you do is just use the backdoor approach. Now, with the backdoor approach, the conversation or the phone call may be just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. But you're still doing the same exact thing. You get on the phone. For example, I'm calling Edwin again. Hey, Edwin, how you doing? This is Holton. Now, let's just say I used to work for Ed. And Ed was this big guy, multi-millionaire, and, I used to work for him. So, typically people who work for somebody else, that other person normally is has the authority, if you know what I mean. And people don't typically owners of companies don't like to do the same business that their employees do. If you notice, they don't hang out the same places y'all hang out either. They have a different country club membership. Well, they have country club memberships. First of all, okay? Now, so I want Edwin to see the business. And so I have a lot of respect for him. And I know he has respect for me in terms of knowing that I'm an honest person, knowing that I'm I'm a go-getter a little bit, and knowing that I'm somebody who wants to achieve some things out of life. So I call Edwin up. Hey, Edwin, how you doing? This is Holton.
Hey, Holton, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely incredible. Edwin, listen, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to know, is this a busy time for you? Do you have a quick second? I need to ask your opinion, and I need some advice on how you can help me.
Oh, absolutely, Holton. Go ahead.
See, people love to help people. Especially people in those positions, they love to help people. So what I'm going to do is this. He says, yeah, sure, go ahead. Edwin, listen. Recently, I just came in contact with some very successful people like yourself who are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. I know he's not making that, so I'm putting him in that category. And the information looked good. But you know what? I'm a little confused here. And I would like to have your opinion and your evaluation on whether this is the right opportunity for me. I can't explain the details, but I want to know if you would be willing to take your time out for an hour of your time to evaluate it. And what I'll do is, I'll pay for lunch for us or something like that, or pay for dinner for us, and we can go have dinner afterwards. But that would be doing me a big favor. Could you carve out an hour of your time to help me out in that way, Edwin?
Oh, absolutely, Holton.
Great. Well, listen, what I'll do is this. This is the directions. The location is going to be here. It starts at 7:20. They recommend it, to get there just a little bit early to meet one of these very successful people who are going to be presenting. And I'll see you there at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll be there.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that help. I got another decision. I got a decision whether or not he wants to help me. Now, all I do is get him at the business briefing. I'm going to treat him just like I treat anybody else, put him on the front row, and put my speaker on him. Get him. Get him, Tanja. Get him. And so now I got my speaker on him. He's going to get involved in the business. How many of y'all know somebody who came to save somebody and ended up getting in themselves? You follow what I'm saying? And so that's what you want to do. Be in a hurry. Show value. Take it away. Pass the mic to Tanja real quick. Just to give you another example of just make it flow. Just make it flow. The
the indirect approach. Hey, Tanja, how you doing? This is Holton. I'm doing absolutely incredible. Tanja, listen, I don't have a lot of time, but you know what? I need to ask you a question. You got about a minute?
Yes, I do.
Tanja, listen, who do you know that will be looking to make about an extra $3,000 to $4,000 part-time this month without quitting what they're currently doing?
I would like to.
Okay,
That
you know what? I
sounds
didn't
good.
think it would be you, but listen. Listen, I just hit the jackpot. I'm right now, Tanja, working with some people, very successful, making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. Some are making that per week. There's a conference call that I'm having at 7 o'clock. I've got 12 lines available. I got about 25 people that want to get on. Do you think you can get maybe 3 of those people? I got room for you and maybe 3 of those other people that you know. We can get on it. It may not be for you, and I may not have a position for you, but at least I'll give you a shot. Can we do that at 7 o'clock?
How many people do I need to call?
Only 3.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
And so now I give her the conference call line. Guys, I'm just using a venue. This can be an executive luncheon. This can be a business briefing, a PBR, whatever it is. You just inviting to get to an area. You're collecting a decision. And now, because I use the indirect approach, I got her and 3 other people who's going to be on my conference call. Who do you know, Tanja, that are looking to make an extra $3,000 to $4,000 this month and not quit what they're currently doing part-time? Now, this is a key thing. The dollar figure that I use is going to be a dollar figure equivalent to what I think will turn her to a yes. If Tanja's, for example, used to making, in this example, $1,000 a month, I'm not going to use $3,000 to $4,000 a month. That'll blow her out of the water. I'll use maybe $300 to $500 a month. Tanja's used to making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. I'm not going to use $2,000 to $3,000. It's insignificant to her. It doesn't move her right now. I may use an extra $10,000 to $15,000. You prescribe the proper medicine for your prospects. You are the doctor. You know those people. You got their checks marks right next to you. You know who they are. All I'm doing is collecting a decision. The more decisions that you collect in a shorter amount of time, the more money you'll make in this business. Guaranteed. Whether they're yes decisions or whether they're no decisions. Because I got a long list of people, I don't have a lot of time. And I'm not going to sit on the phone and chit-chat with her about the idea. I've had people say, well, Holton, you know what? I'll get on the phone. Hey, listen, Tanja, this is Holton. I got a quick question to ask you. If I found a way to make a fortune on the internet to make 6 to 12 months, would you want to know about it? Well, yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Tanja, I don't have a lot of time right now. Well, yeah, I'm interested. Well, great. Tanja, listen, 7 o'clock, this particular hotel will be there. I can't guarantee anything. I got 6 tickets available, but I got 20 people who want them. I thought of you first. Well, Holton, tell me a little bit more. Right now, Tanja, I'm about to walk into my meeting. It's about to start, so I don't have time. We'll give you all the particulars there. Well, Holton, if you don't tell me a little bit more, then I don't want to come. Well, Tanja, I guess you're not coming. Thanks for the 50. What do you mean? Tanja, I collect $50 for every person who tells me yes or no, and you just made a decision. Thanks a lot for the $50. Well, how did you do that? Tanja, 7 o'clock at the Hilton Hotel Thursday night. You follow what I'm saying? Now, you may say, well, how in the world do you collect $50? Let me give you an example. My first meeting that I had in this company here, I invited 10 people. I made a list of 20. I actually made a list of 7. I had 71 people that I made on my list in I think it was my first 2 days, 2.5 days. 71 people I put on my list. Most of them were 4 checkers. Some of them weren't. And my list continued to grow. It continued to grow. And what I did was this. I was having a conference call. And I only wanted my 4 checkers, strong 4 checkers on this particular conference call. So I didn't call everybody. So I made a list of my top 20. These would be the people what I call your $1 million 20. If you were starting a multi-million-dollar business, who would be the people that you want on your board of advisors? It was these people that I put on that list, my $1 million 20. Out of those 20 people, I was able to get a hold of about 12 to 13. 10 of them said that they would get on a conference call. Okay? 8 of them got on the conference call. 7 of them got started.
That first, for an hour, and my income as a direct result of those people getting started, buying the products, buying the packages to get in, I made $1,250. 7 got started, but 10 made a decision. What's $1,250 divided by 10? $125. I made $125 for each person telling me yes or no. So I divided my income that I made by the number of decisions that were given to me. And so many people, they internalize the no's. The no's, you get paid for those too. How many of you have sponsored an executive plan in this business? You made $240 as a result of them buying the products. How many of you had to at least call 5 people to get that one person sponsored? Okay. And out of 5 people who made a decision, you made $240. 5 goes into $240, what? 49? You make $49 for every phone call that you made. Thanks for the 50. If you look at it that way and you create your own environment of success, and you know that you make $50 every time you make a phone call and collect a decision, a proper decision, when you called a 3 or 4 checker, how many phone calls would you be willing to make? How many decisions, James, would you be willing to collect? Or would you sit there and let those people stay on your list and let that money sit into a bank account that you don't even have the PIN code to? See, the phone call is nothing but the ATM card. The phone is the ATM debit card. That's what the telephone is. The money is sitting out there. It's right now in a bank account for you, right now, waiting for you to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. But you have to have the ATM card. But the ATM card doesn't guarantee you money. Tens of thousands of dollars on this account here, and that's my business checking account. Go use the ATM machine. Get it out. See, the phone is the ATM card. Picking up the telephone and making a phone call is the 4-digit code that you need to get the money out. Because every one of you have a telephone. But everybody doesn't pick it up. You follow what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to give you the code. You got to pick it up yourself.
Wow. You mean to tell me that there's money just sitting out there in the bank account waiting for me, and all I've got to do to get it is just collect a decision? Absolutely. If you want to make a little bit of money, collect a few decisions. But if you want to turn your network marketing business into a cash cow, then collect a lot of decisions.
While the techniques and approaches suggested here have worked for others, no one can guarantee that they will work for you. We sincerely hope, however, that the ideas presented here will assist you in building a strong and profitable business. This has been a 3K Marketing Group production. Unauthorized duplication of the CD is strictly prohibited. To purchase this audio program, go to www.3kmg.
Well, congratulations. You've made it all the way to CD4. Here you're going to learn some of my most favorite skills: 3-way calling, the importance of edification, and also the importance of events.
What we want to cover right now, we've gone through the dream. We've talked about reasons why. We've talked about the importance of list building, contacting and inviting, the importance of a sense of urgency. We've talked about how to build through the cold market. What we're going to talk about now is 3-way calling and the importance of edification. This one here, guys, is so important. I want you to understand the importance of this tool. Remember what we talked about. Tools are just nothing more than systems or mechanisms that make doing your job a whole lot easier and simpler. 3-way calling, in my opinion, is one of the most important tools in network marketing. I think it's the most underutilized tool in network marketing as well. Why is that? Is because we have a system of education and most people have not gotten that education and they don't understand the importance of it. So what I want to do here is I want you to pay close attention to this one here. Because if you want to really skyrocket your business, if you want to start building a massive organization, guys, learn how to do 3-way calls and learn how to teach your people how to do 3-way calls. Teach your people how to do three-way calls, and I'll tell you, you will make an absolute fortune. There's several different methods of exposure that we have in the business. Several different methods of exposure. And I think the baseball diamond really simplifies the steps that you process a new prospect. We have several different modes of exposure. We have executive lunches, you have business briefings, you have one-on-ones, you have two-on-ones, you have conference calls, you have a sizzle line, you have PBRs, you have several different modes of exposing the business. You can do 3-foot rule, you can do tape handout. And so with those several different modes, each of those modes are very important, but that's just the method of exposure. That's only the method of exposure. So we talk about the zones as well. The white zone is what? Massive exposure. That's when you should understand what your plan is for this month. How many people you're going to send to a business briefing? How many people you're going to have go through an executive luncheon? How many people you're going to do a one-on-one with? Know what your numbers are before you even start the month. I was listening to Jim Rohn and he said this. He said, when should you start your week? As soon as it's finished. To go out and try to start building a week before you've designed it is kind of crazy. What if they start building this hotel before they had it finished up here? Wouldn't work. You follow what I'm saying? So have a purpose. Be on purpose. There's no success by accident. And so understanding this three-way calling is going to be very important to your success in the business. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire warm market training. You've had that before, but I want you to understand something here. You've got your prospects up here, and what your goal is to swing. Your goal is to swing. That's just the sifting and sorting that we're talking about. You sifted and sorted. You got them to first base, and that was to get them to one of these events. Here is the sifting and sorting process. This is what we talked about when you first start building a list and your invite, your approach, contacting and inviting. You've gotten them to one particular event, whether it's a business briefing, whatever it is, any method of exposure. That's first base. That's important. But the key thing is this here. You're trying to get a score. Your goal is to score. Once you've got them here, once you've gone ahead and swung, your goal is to get them to first base and to get them to second base. Sometimes they go all the way from second base and they'll come in and score. Sometimes you have to get them to third base. Well, how do you get them to other bases? It's what we call BAM FAM. BAM FAM. BAMFAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. You book a meeting from a meeting. Well, guess what? A three-way call is a meeting. In my opinion, it's one of the most important meetings that you can have in network marketing. Because now this is when you're going to start passing the buck. You're going to start passing on and allow somebody else who has the credibility to use their credibility to close your prospects. So the three-way call is very important. Let me give you a couple of elements and some etiquette on three-way calling and the importance of the edification on three-way calling. First of all, when you're doing a three-way, you want to make sure, if at all possible, you set up a time with your upline to do a three-way. If at all possible, set up a time. Now, sometimes you just may be at the spur of the moment. You have a prospect, a hot prospect. You haven't set up a time. You know that you need to bam fam, and getting them on the phone with your upline leader. If you may need to get them on the phone with Derwin, get them on the phone with Regina or Ed or whoever it is that you may need to get them on the phone with right away, and you may not have an appointment. That's okay. Try to have an appointment. That way, we don't have to rush. And that way, you don't have to not have your upline be available. So what you're going to do is get them to set up a time. The second thing that you want to do is just make sure that you be on time. If you set up a time at 3 o'clock, 3:03 is not acceptable to call. 3:01 is not acceptable to call. Don't call at 3:05 and say, hey, listen, I've been trying to get him and I can't get him, so we're just going to have to cancel the call, because next time you try to set up an appointment, we may not be available because you've already set up a system and a habit to let us know that you're not going to honor the time that you set up. So if you can't get them, your upline needs to get a call at least 5 minutes beforehand. Say, hey, listen, I have not gotten him. I'm just calling to let you know that I haven't gotten my prospect. I'm going to try to get him, and I'll call you back right at 3 o'clock if I don't get him. Or I'll call you back a minute before 3 if I can't get him. But that way we at least know where our time is going to be spent. The key thing is this, guys. It's very simple and easy to put people in this business, and there's thousands of people. Some of you are going to have hundreds, and some of you are going to have thousands of people in your group, and you're going to be doing three ways left and right, and you just want to make sure that your time is well spent or well invested. So honor the time. Make sure that the person has seen a presentation. Don't go from sifting and sorting to second base or to a three-way. Don't book them to the first meeting on a three-way call. Why? Because what you're asking your upline to do is sell the business for you. That's not our job. I don't sell the business at all. Anybody I have to sell the business to, I'll have to sell them to come to a function. I'll have to sell them to buy product. I'll have to sell them on being on auto ship, and I'm not in the sales business. I am in the business of developing and mentoring people who want to make a 6- and 7-figure income. And I can't develop somebody who I need to sell to do the things that's required to build a business. Make sure that they've been exposed to the business. Why? Because I don't want to get on and have to talk about the products and services that we market. I don't need to get on the business and have to explain to them for the first time that we have a cold market program, an ad program. I don't want to get on for the first time and have to explain the different industries that we participate in through our company. That's not what I want to do. The purpose of a three-way call is for somebody else that you've edified to validate what they've just heard. Remember I talked about social proof? People need social proof. This gives them the social proof that somebody else is doing it, somebody else is having success, and that we have a testimony. Now, edification. You want to make sure that you've already edified your upline or whoever's doing the three-way call for you, and it always is your upline. Never cross-line, never somebody in your success team as well. It's always upline. Let me share with you what I call the edification triangle. The edification triangle. And then we'll get back to the process of edification. If you look here, this is a triangle. This is you. This is your prospect. And this is your expert or your upline. I want you to understand something. Well, why is it important for you to get validation? Because people who know you personally, they know you. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can't beat your own chest. You can't tell them how great you are, but guess what? Somebody else that you edified, they can. And we can make you look like a hero, but you can't do it yourself. Vice versa. You can make me look like a hero to that person. I can't get on the phone and talk about how great I am. I can't talk about the money I've made. I can't talk about all of those things, but you can do it for me. That's very important, guys. The edification is incredible. This is the key thing here. The people that you know will listen to somebody that they don't know before they'll listen to you. That's people. If you understand people, you'll make money. So between you and your prospect, there's what we call trust. They do trust you. They know that you'll never do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. They have trust for you. I want you to understand this edification triangle. There's trust. Between you and your prospect, there is trust, but there is no respect. They don't have the respect that you can help them make a 6- or 7-figure income because they know that you just borrowed $200 from them 2 weeks ago. You follow what I'm saying? Does that make sense? They don't respect your ability. That's why people say, well, I've been trying to get them to a meeting and they aren't coming. That's why. You are trying to sell them, and they already know that you're 2 months behind on Visa. They already know that you had this repossessed. They already know that stuff, and they're like, man, if she was making so much money or he was making so much money, why did they borrow some money from me? So they don't have any respect for you in that sense. They understand even if you're doing okay right now, but they know your past. See, I couldn't sell the people, or I couldn't present and tell the people how great the business was, even after I had made a lot of money in this industry, because people knew what my past was. They knew what my past was. That's what they remember. You follow what I'm saying? But they do have trust for me. They know I wouldn't put them in anything bad. They don't have any respect, but they do have trust. Between you and your expert, based on how you edify them, there is no trust because they don't know that person from Adam. But there is a lot of respect because of the things that you have said about your expert. Before you put a person on a three-way call with your upline, make sure that you've edified. Now, you edify their accomplishments and the people that they've helped in this business. You edify their accomplishments and the people that they've helped in this business. Does that make sense to you? So, if I'm putting a person on the phone, and let's just say here, I got Derwin, and Derwin is my upline. Or I'll just give you an even better example of what I've actually done and how I've actually, the exact things that I've said. I'm putting people on the phone with Brad. Before I get Brad on the phone, I remember I've already established my appointment. He knows exactly what time I'm calling. I let them know. I say, hey, listen, I'm Bam Fammy. They went to an appointment. They liked what they saw, but they didn't make a decision. Great. I tell you what, I was talking to Brad. This guy's absolutely phenomenal. This guy went from $35 in the bank to over $300,000 in cash in his bank after he paid all of his bills in just 1 year, 12 months in this business. He's a multi-millionaire helping thousands of people, and his goal is to help 100 people become a millionaire. I've already been selected as one of them, and we're looking for some other people. Brad told me that if I found somebody who was sharp like you, he'd take 5 minutes of his time and see if he can talk to you and tell you what he's doing to develop these millionaires. Do you think that person has some value for Brad's time now? See, they don't understand who Brad is, or they don't understand who you are or who your upline is until you say it. They don't understand anything about his past. All they know is the good things that I just told them about him. Does that make sense to you? That's all that they know. And so what I'll do then is this. Great. 3 o'clock. I'll give you a call. I actually call you 5 minutes to 3. We'll see if we can get 5 minutes of his time. They've already been exposed to the business. And so now what happens is this. I'm going to get them on the phone with Brad. This is what's happening, guys. This is incredible. This is why three-way calls are so incredible. They've got the trust for me, but they don't have respect. They don't have trust for Brad, but they've got respect. Now we've got trust, plus we've got respect. That's going to equal success. Every single time, if you do it right. That's the edification part. I'm going to build him up. I'm going to let them know, hey, he's a very good friend of mine. He's got a large organization. His time is very, very valuable. And I don't know if he can give you 10 minutes, but I'm sure I can probably get 5 minutes. I'm building up his time. I'm making it seem like, hey, listen, this is going to be an honor, because it is, to speak to my upline or the person who's helping me build a business. Let me share something with you. It doesn't have to be a diamond. It doesn't have to be a platinum who you edify like that. Guess what? It can be your upline director. If they've helped you pop an ad in the paper, if they've helped you close a person, if they've done a PBR for you, guess what? That's the person who's helping you. Once upon a time, I was a director. People couldn't edify me as a platinum, but they edified me just like I was a platinum. You follow what I'm saying? It's not the pen that you edify, it's the person. It's the person that you edify. You edify the person. Now, so I've already done my edification. Don't get on the phone and then start the edification, because I don't want to hear a 2-minute thing on how great I am. Edify before you get on the phone with me. And then when you get them on the phone, this is how the phone call goes. Hey, Brad, thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to talk to my prospect or to talk to Greg. Brad, I know your time is very, very valuable. Greg's excited. He saw the plan. And you know what? His major concern was the amount of money that could be made. Or his concern was that he'd been in network marketing before and really wasn't able to build it, wasn't plugged into a system. Greg, I want you to meet Brad Hager. This is my upline. This is number one income earner in the company. I've told you a lot about him. Greg, I want you to meet Brad. Brad, I want you to meet Greg. And I shut my mouth. I shut my mouth, and I don't say one other word at all. Zero, nothing whatsoever. Well, why is that? Who's the expert here? My upline. I'm not edifying me, I'm edifying him. As soon as I start to talk before I'm spoken to, what I'm saying is that he's not the expert. You need to be listening to me, and so what he's saying is not important. Because most of you are on the phone, especially the brand new people, you're so excited, and you're thinking, oh, you know what? I hadn't heard him talk about the ad program. You didn't tell him about, you didn't tell him about this particular product. You didn't tell him about how you can save money on travel. You didn't tell him about this and that. Because, see, you're on one wavelength, and we're on a whole nother one. That's why you always do 3 waves with somebody who's plugged into the system who understands people. Because, see, because we understand people, we know what motivates them, and that's why we get paid the big bucks, because we've learned the art of dealing with people. There's certain things I may say to a Bobby that I may not say to Wendy. There are certain things I may say to Wendy that I may not say to Regina. Certain things I'll say to Kenneth that I may not say to Brina, or I may not say to Shanita. Because I'm there listening. See, the 3-way call is not about saying the right things. It's about listening. It's about listening and getting them to sell themselves. You've already done the edification. I'm not going to get on there and sell the business to them. So as soon as you talk, this is what happens here, guys. I want to just give you kind of an ironclad rule. This may seem kind of harsh, but after you do it a couple times, you'll understand how important it is. As soon as you start talking, the first time after we get off the 3-way, I'll let you know, give you a little bit of coaching. Second time you start talking, I hang up the telephone. I'll let you continue the conversation yourself. Hey, listen, I got a call I got to catch. I'll talk with y'all later. And I'll let you finish. I've done it a couple times. Guess what? The people have never, ever, ever come back and start talking again. Guys, that's very, very important. Don't start buying it back. This person is the expert. That means that they understand the business. You've edified them. They have respect for them. They don't have respect for you. So anything that you say is not respected. This is very important, guys. This is the edification and communication triangle when it comes to doing a three-way call. Your upline typically will ask for the check on that three-way call. We're going to ask for the check. Should we not get the check? Guess what we're going to do? Bam, fam. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. They don't make a decision when they're on the phone with me? Great. Well, I'll tell you what, Willie. I understand that you had those concerns and you need to speak it over with your wife. Listen, why don't you do this here? Saturday morning, I'm having a training session. Why don't you come and get these questions answered? Because you know what? I want you to understand our orientation program. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. Let me ask you a question, Willie. What do you have going on at Saturday that's going to put 6 or 7 figures in your pocket? See, I don't ask him, can he come? How many of you made your own decision to come? I don't ask a person, can they come? There's no bondage. None of you are in jail, except from 9 to 5. But anyway, just kidding. So I'm not going to ask him, can he come? Willie, what are you doing at 9 o'clock Saturday morning that's going to put 6 or 7 figures in your pocket? Nothing. Nothing. What are you doing? I'm telling you guys, learn these phrases. You wonder why the 3%ers make all the money? It's because we understand how to communicate with people. I know how to get the right answer from Willie. Willie, what are you doing Saturday morning that's going to put 6 or 7 figures in your pocket? He may have golf planned. But if I ask him, well, Willie, do you have anything planned for Saturday morning? Yes, I got golf. But I'll say, Willie, what do you have planned that's going to put 6 or 7 figures in your pocket? Nothing. Great. Willie, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, this is where you need to meet me. I want you to see our orientation and our training program. It's going to blow you away, and you'll understand why so many people in this company are making money. 9 o'clock, be dressed sharp. I want to introduce you to some people. You will be there, won't you, Willie? Willie, you will be there, won't you? He says, you bet. He's writing it down. Did you write down, you bet? So I'm bam-famming, if you follow me. Okay? Now, once you've bam-fammed, you keep bam-famming until you get them to home plate. See, guys, I'll tell you, it's a process. It's like an assembly line. It's an assembly line. That's all. It's a pipeline. That's all it is. We can call it a baseball diamond. You can call it a pipeline. You can call it an assembly line. Guess what? When you start a process of an assembly line, they start with the raw materials, with the base, with the frame of what's going on. The frame of what's going on here is you're sifting and sorting. You're finding out if that person is looking for an opportunity. This is where you're looking to collect a decision on whether or not they will get on your assembly line. Once you do that, you put the first part on them, and that's the opportunity. You let them get exposed to the opportunity through some method or fashion. So that means that they started from here on the assembly line, they moved over to here. Now, if they didn't make a decision there, what's going to happen is they're going to move further along down the assembly line, and they're going to get bam-fam to a three-way call. They don't make a decision there, we're going to bam-fam them again, maybe to another three-way call, even on the higher up line. You follow what I'm saying? Don't start out with me. Most of you think, well, you know what? I need to get Holton to do my 3 ways. No. I was doing 3 ways when I was a director closing people. Has nothing to do with the pen. Do 3 ways with your plugged-in upline who understands our system. That's who you do 3 ways with. Why? Because, see, guess what? If you passed up Bobby and you went straight to me, or if you passed up me and you went straight to Brad, guess what? They may need another 3-way call. Who are they going to do it with? Nobody. So you start down here, and then you start working your way up. You know what they see? Man, there is a chain of people that I have access to who understands this business, and each person I talk to made more money and more money and more money. And then they start to see that they have access to that as well. So if they don't get in there, guess what? We bam-fam them to a training. They don't get there, we bam-fam them to a meeting. Guess what? I didn't make a decision on the phone when I first talked to Brad. Guess what he did? He understood. He bam-fammed me to the very next meeting, which was that same day, and I was 1,000 miles away, and it was a $600 plane ticket, a couple $100 a night for a hotel, and I had 4 hours to make a decision. But what if he was some inexperienced rookie scared to ask me, what am I doing to make a 6-figure, 7-figure income in the next 4 hours? I wouldn't be in the business today. I guarantee you, if I would have waited till he came to Dallas, it would have never happened. The be-back bus never comes back. The be-back bus never comes back. Well, you know what? I'll be back. I'll just come to another meeting. The be-back bus never comes back. And so I wouldn't, and you wouldn't be here either. But I was so glad that he had the fortitude to say, hey, what are you doing today? Why don't you come meet me today? I had 4 hours to be there. I made a decision quickly. Okay, I'll do it. Went, saw the plan. He bam-fammed me. I didn't even sign up when I was there. I wanted to play hard to get, like I'm some big shot. Guess what? They bam-fammed me again with Ron Goals. Hey, listen, Holton, when you get back home, I know you got a couple people that you want to talk to. Why don't we do this? Let me talk to you and those couple of people and tell them what you just saw. I gave an appointment. See, successful people honor their appointments. So if I book the appointment, guess what? I got to honor it. Now he bam-fammed me. Now guess what he's got? Not only me, he's got my group to talk to. If I don't do it, they're going to do it, so I got to do it anyway. The pros understand this stuff. The professional people understand the art of bam-famming. Ron Goals talks about it. How many of you have ever been to a dental office, walked out of there, and they didn't schedule your next appointment? Never happened. They understand bam-famming. Before you leave, they'll hit the security on that door and won't let you. Hold on for a second. I went and got a root canal recently while I'm in the chair. The lady comes in there, hey, listen, your next appointment is going to be this here date. What time is going to be better for you, morning or afternoon? Guess what they do? People in the dentistry business, they have classes, training on how to bam-fam. It doesn't happen by accident. This is all on purpose. All of this is on purpose. You bam-fam. You book a person from a meeting to a meeting. 3-way calling. Very important. As many prospects as you have going through your pipeline, guys, you should be 3-weighing like crazy. It's real easy to sponsor people. You know why some of your businesses are not growing to the degree of which you want them? Because you are not disciplined. Is it that you don't know how? All the information that I'm teaching you right now, all of you know how to do it already. You're just not doing what you know how to do. You'll get started here at home plate. You'll go to first base. You get so excited because they showed up at your business briefing or they showed up. You think you've already scored because they showed up. It's nowhere near over. They showed up, and guess what they'll tell you? Oh, this looks real good. Man, this is awesome. I think I'm going to do it. I'll get back with you. You say, okay, great. Awesome. Here's my phone number. Get back with me. That's a rookie way to handle that. What you do is this. Great. Nicole, I work by calendar. I'm sure that you do as well. My time is valuable, so is yours. I know you want to get back with me, but let me see when you can. I'll take out my calendar. It's a Thursday business briefing. Great. I'll tell you what. I've got tomorrow and Saturday open. Which day is better for you? Friday. Friday, I've got 2 times available, morning or afternoon. If we do morning, we'll do 10 o'clock tomorrow. Afternoon, we'll do 4 o'clock Friday. And I only have about 15 minutes to go over some things here. Which time can we do, 4 o'clock or 10? I give them, it's called the alternate close. I let them choose one. Either or. Either or. You give them 2 options, they have to choose one. People are conditioned to make a decision based on the options that they have. How many of you have ever gone to a buffet that didn't have lobster and say, hey, listen, can I have lobster? You don't say that because that's not your options. You choose what's on the menu. I always provide a menu. Here, 10 o'clock or 4 o'clock, that's the menu. That's what you're going to choose from. Great. Let's go ahead and take out our calendars and let's mark that.
Wow, what a concept. You mean to tell me you take out a calendar when you bam-famming? Absolutely. Bam-famming without a calendar is almost certain to end in disappointment.
4 o'clock tomorrow. Tell you what, this is what I need you to do. Whatever the concern is, look over the website, all that type of stuff. Make a list of your questions so that we can get your questions answered and we can resolve and show you how to put some money in your pocket. Why do I do that? Because, see, if I let them tell me they'll get back with me, they're in control. If they're in control, they understand that you need them in their business, and they'll never call you back. Very, very, very seldom will they call you back. Now, when they see I do that, they understand that I'm a very serious business person. I run my business like a business. I don't care if they don't get involved in the business. I want them to know that I'm a very serious business person. So I booked that appointment. The other thing is this. If I call them back without an appointment, it's considered what we call hounding. Man, why does he keep calling me? See, tomorrow when I call him at 4 o'clock, I'm not hounding him because I had an appointment. I know who I'm dealing with. I have an appointment, 4 o'clock. Guys, become a professional. Become an expert at every aspect of the business. It's simple to become an expert. It's just doing it. It's just doing it. The thing I understand is this here. Only 20% of the people are going to do the information that I'm talking about. Everybody in here has a chance to do it. Every one of you have a chance at a 6-figure income and to become free, financially independent, and wealthy, but only 20% of you are going to do 80% of what I'm talking about. Most of you have heard this information. You still get them to a business briefing. You jump for joy just because they came and you think you've got somebody. Just because they signed up at a business briefing. You don't have anybody sponsored until that person that you sponsored 2 people.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. Why don't we take a 30-second mental break and digest everything that we just learned?
If you don't go through this process, you can't do it for them and you can't teach them. And so all you teach them is bad habits of getting excited when a person comes to first base. And then now you got a whole bunch of excited people who, hey, we have 15 people at the business briefing today. And they're all excited, going nowhere fast. Because they don't know how to bam fam. They don't know how to book a meeting from a meeting. You don't know how to do 3-way calls. Guys, learn this. This is the art. 3-way calling is an art. Edification is the fuel that makes the 3-way works. Don't ever get on the phone and say, hey, Holton. Holton, this is John. John, this is Holton. Go ahead, Holton. No edification whatsoever. I can't tell that person anything. Trust me. Hey, Holton, listen, you know what? Hey, listen, this is a guy here. He's interested in the business, and I want you to talk to him. Holton, John Holton. You've taken all the power away. So you know what John thinks? John thinks I'm just like you. He doesn't have any respect for you, so he definitely doesn't have any respect for me. And he doesn't have any trust for me. So nothing I say is meaning anything to him. That's why the edification is very important. You understand? That's why the edification is very important. While you're edifying, how do you edify? You edify with stories. You edify with stories. You don't have to edify with facts and figures. Edify with stories. Stories are the most important aspect of edification. How do I build my business? I tell stories all the time. I've made more money from talking about Mama Graham than anybody else in my group. Now, is she the number 1 income earner in my group? No. But her story, in my opinion, is the most phenomenal in this entire company. 75 years young, bronze executive in the company, making more money in this company here than she ever made in corporate America for working 35 years. Is that a strong story or what? She had a fixed income. Operating on a fixed income. Got involved in this business here. Now she doesn't have a fixed income anymore. Guys, that's a very, very strong story. Why don't you use, if you're in her group, why aren't you using her for a 3-way? All she has to do is get on and tell her story. Facts, tell, stories, sell. All I do when I'm on the 3-way, I get on there and I tell my story. People just want social proof. They want to know, does it work and can I do it? Those are the 2 things people want to know. Does it work and can I do it? And will I get some help? For some people, will I get some help? Does it work? Can I do it? And will I get some help? That's what the 3-way call does. Now, there's 3 stories that you tell in network marketing. 3 stories. Guys, get these stories and I want you to understand them. I want you to burn them up here permanently. Understand this, guys. I'm equipping you right now with some stuff that if you use this stuff, you will go out and be able to make a fortune. If you use it. If you don't use it, you'll go out and you have the same results that you've been having. Now, the first story in network marketing is your upline story. Why? Because you just got started and you don't have one yet. Your upline story. Talk about your upline. I talked about the upline. I talked about the help that I got from the upline. I talked about how they were on time picking me up from the airport when I went out there to see the business. It was stories. I was just sharing stories. I didn't tell them anything about the company because I didn't know anything about the company. Some people try to get so educated on the facts and figures of the company, how this works, how does this product work, how does that work, how does this work, how does that work, and guess what? People are not interested in that. I give an example all the time. Who in here, I'm going to give you another example. Who in here in the business is less than a month old? Danny, how much volume does it take to get a car bonus? How much volume does it take created in your business to get car bonus? 100 BV, he says. So who else in here is new? This is not to embarrass anybody. How much volume does it take to get matching bonuses? Don't know. Who else in here is a month old? Now, raise your hands if you're, I'm proving a point here. Julian, question, how much volume does it take to cycle 4 times? You don't know. Now, Danny, when I got started in network marketing, was I rich or broke? I was broke. Did I own a company? Did I work for somebody else? Or no, did I have both? I had both. Danny, what kind of car do I drive? It's the big one. You follow what I'm saying? They don't understand the facts and figures, but he knows all of my story. He bought my story. He didn't buy the comp plan. He doesn't know it. If it took 100 BV to get a car bonus, everybody in here would be driving a car. You follow what I'm saying? So the facts and figures have nothing to do with whether a person gets in. It's the story. So the first story that you tell is your upline stories. You know why I bought that car? I didn't buy it for me. I bought it for you. It's a story that you need to be sharing. Bobby just went out and got that car. He didn't buy it. I know for a fact he didn't get that one for him. He knows that. He bought it for the group. It's a story to tell. It's a story, a success story to tell. Durham went out, and guess what he wanted? Durham wanted a Toyota Land Cruiser. I say, man, ain't nobody getting fired up about a Toyota Land Cruiser. You better go over there and get yourself one of those Lexuses. He got a Lexus. Why? For the group. It's a story to tell. I tell about their story more than anybody else. Bobby only had his car 2 or 3 days. Man, I probably told that story about 20, 30, 40, 50 times. To people who are even in the group and to prospects. You follow what I'm saying? It's the stories that we tell. Upline story is what you tell. Now, people are going to ask you questions like, well, hey, how much money have you made? I don't know. All I know is this. That's all you need to say. How much money have you made, Brina? I don't know. All I know is this. I'm working with a guy named Holton. This guy was broke when he first got started in internet network marketing, $250,000 in debt. Now he's completely out of debt. The company just purchased him a 745 BMW Li. It's an $84,000 car if you want to go out there and buy it brand new. This guy's helping so many people earn a high 6-figure income. He's helping me. I got a question for you. Who's helping you? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the stories. It's the stories that sell. It's the stories. So you tell your upline story. How much money have you made? I don't know. All I know is this. The person who I'm involved in business with had $35 in the bank. 12 months later, had over $300,000 in cash that paid off all of his bills, and he's helping 100 people become a millionaire. How many millions have you made yet? See, I always answer a question with a question. Those are the stories that I answer objections with stories. I edify with stories. Those are the stories that I tell. First story. Second story that you tell is your story. Your story. When you get one. Some of you don't even understand that you have a very strong story. How many of you have at least sponsored one person? At the executive level. George, your story is so powerful you don't even understand it right now. He doesn't understand it because he tells it all the time. He does understand this. Let's say, I know George sponsored his first 2 executive plans. How long did it take you to do that? About 2 weeks? Now, this is the key thing I want you to understand. How much time did you put into sponsoring those 2 people? How much time did you put into sponsoring those 2 people? How much time was the presentation? 2 hours. A piece? So that's 4 hours. Let me share a story. Well, how much money have you made, George? I don't know. I don't know much about this business at all. All I know is I'm plugged into a system that's incredible, and with 4 hours of work, I made over $480. It's a little over $120 an hour. Now, how much you say you make an hour again? You don't have to be a platinum to have a story. Some of you who've run ads, how many of you have run an ad and had at least one person to call? 2 people, 3 people. Most of you had, some of you have 50 people to call. How much money have you made? I don't know. All I know is this. Part of our system allows us to attract all kinds of people around the country to call us about our business. Matter of fact, this week, I just ran one of the ads, and I had 15 people call me who were looking for a call back, and my upline and myself are going to decide which ones we're going to put in our business. How many people have called you lately about an opportunity? It's a story. I'm telling a story about the system. I'm not getting into, well, I made X amount of dollars. You know why? Because I'll tell you this. When I used to tell people what my income was, it was either too much or too little. It's never the right number. I tell a story. I tell stories. That's all I tell. Hey, listen, you know what? Before I got involved in internet network marketing, I had a car repossessed. I got involved in this industry, and I was able to go out and buy me a Lexus cash. Don't know. But I just tell stories. I don't tell them what my income is. I just tell the story. That's your story. How's it working for you? I don't know. All I know is this. You know, my first time exposing this business to people, we put about 8 people in our organization. I have no idea how it works, but this thing is growing like crazy. It could have been 8 CPCs. It could have been 8 wholesale IBOs. It doesn't matter. They will go back and leave with that story. Third story that you tell is the most important one, and this is your success team story. Your success team are the people in your organization that you're helping build a business. Some people call it downline. I just don't like the term downline or referring to people as a downline because I don't look down on anybody. Want people below you? Go walk in the graveyard. Some of y'all will get that later on. Okay, now, so success team. How's it working? I don't know. All I know is this. One of the people that I've been able to help become financially independent is a guy named Bobby. He answered one of our ads, got involved in the business, replaced a 6-figure income, and just bought a brand new BMW. I think it's working okay. How's it working? I don't know. You know, one of the people I sponsored, named Regina Baker, got involved and never had made any money in this industry before. She's the number 25 income earner in the company out of 35,000 people. She's doing okay, completely retired, financially independent. How's it working? Well, I don't know. You know, one of the guys I sponsored, his name is Derwin. You know, Derwin got involved in the business, had experience, never made any money, got involved, and 2 months later was able to not need a job anymore after working for this company for 11 years with an engineering degree. He's the number 11 income earner in the entire company out of 35,000 people. You know what they're thinking? You must be way up there. Because I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the people that I've helped. How's it working? Oh, it's working pretty good.
Did you ever think stories could be so powerful? Absolutely. Why don't we take a 30-second action break? But during this break, I want you to write down 3 stories. First, your support line story. Second, your story. And then someone on your success team.
How many of you went to college and never ever went to class? Why did all the hands go down? Only people who could do, maybe somebody like Willie can do that. I mean, this guy, he finished college, I think, in 3 semesters. Yeah, you know, but you had to go to class. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you at least took 3 years to go to college? A minimum of 3 years. After 3 years, got a piece of paper that qualified you for an income that you're not satisfied with? Raise your hands. I got more hands that went up just then. Man, okay. Well, if that's the case, the reason that you went to college is because you needed to get equipped with the essential information and education to be able to perform at a certain level for your chosen field of endeavor. Am I correct? That's correct. Well, guess what? In network marketing, there's a system of education as well. The difference here is that the professors in network marketing make the income that you desire. How many of you would love to have the income that your professors made in your corporate America? Why do you think you've ended up making about the same amount as they've made? Because you've learned from them. Let me share something with you. The created cannot exceed what the creator has done. So if you're a disciple of somebody making $50,000 a year, they can't teach you how to make $51,000 a year, because if they could, they'd already be doing it. They may teach you, but they can't do it with any degree of authority. That's the important thing that I want you to understand about the educational system that we have in network marketing. Now, in our company here, guess what? The people that we put in front of the room in terms of trainers, at power trainings, at success seminars, at national events, do you think that these people make the money that you are looking to make? Well, why wouldn't you be there to learn from those people? That's what you want to understand. That's where the information is. What I have done is I've understood that there's a system that we have of events, and I already know because I have a game plan. I already know over the next 12 months, I already know, and I've already checked off in my calendar which months I'll be at which particular event or how much time I need to go to those events. And I've already predetermined and made a decision that I'll be at every single event. Why? Because let's just say there's one major event that we have a month. How many of you had to go to class more than once a month? Guess what? Most of your books cost more than what our functions are for one of your classes. That's not including the tuition that you paid for that particular class. And so this is what I've done. I've learned to build my business from event to event. I never look at my business for 12 months and say, what am I going to accomplish in 12 months? I look at my business for 12 months first, and then I look at the event schedule, and I work my business from event to event. Because the events is what keep people in the business. It's the lifeblood of the business. It's what I call where the juice and where the emotions come from. People make a decision to build this business on an emotional basis. It's never a logical decision. It's based off of emotion. And you cannot make an emotional decision if you're not impacted emotionally. How do you get impacted emotionally? By putting people around the events. When you've got a system, 300, 400, 500 people, and you have people to come across your stage and start telling their story and tell you where they were, how they were in the dumps, and how they had their car repossessed, or how they were living a substandard life, and because of this company, and because of this system, and because of the upline, and because of the help that they have, now they're making a six-figure income. Now that they're completely out of debt. Now that they never have to work a job again. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Guess what? You get impacted emotionally, and you understand, man, there's social proof. There's somebody who's actually done it. I can identify with that person because I was just like them. But it happens at events. This Saturday training, this is not what I call an event. This is good stuff. But I'm talking one of the major deals that we have. And so what it is this, guys. You have to learn the art of allowing people to get themselves in an atmosphere that's going to be conducive for success. I am fanatical when it comes to events. Some people think I'm too fanatical. Some people think that we over-promote for events. But it's only the people who don't make the income per year that we make per month. And I'm not trying to be arrogant about it, but listen, if I agreed with you, I'd have your income. If you agree with me, you have mine. And so I had to learn who should I agree with. And it wasn't me. I didn't agree with myself because I didn't have the income that I want. I started agreeing with the people who were making the money that I wanted to make. And from that point on, I made a decision. Every time an event comes around, if I'm qualified for it, I'll be there. Because I asked myself this question, what am I going to be doing that day that's going to show me how to make a 6 or a 7-figure income? Nothing. That's why I'll be there every single time. If they call an event and it's on Mars, I'll figure out a way. I'll call NASA and say, hey, listen, Willie, we need to call some people up there at NASA, figure out a way to get to NASA because you know what, there's an event there. And some people think that's kind of fanatical. Some people have season tickets. I'm not against season tickets, but guess what? You'll never miss a game because you have season tickets. Because you know what? You've already predetermined that for the next 10 years, you're going to be at every one of those home games and watch other people get wealthy. I've got season tickets too. But I've got season tickets to my events, to these events, to what we have here. And that's why the events are incredible. The key thing is this: when you go to events, you can't go by yourself. You always want to bring people on your team. I don't care how brand new they are into the business. The key thing I understand is this: the newer the people, the more willing they are to go to events. The more willing they are to invest in the education that they're going to get for the business. Guys, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how important events are, and I want you to really understand this. Some people just tell people that, hey, listen, we've got such and such coming up, and if it's available on your schedule, why don't you consider coming? See, it's our job to do what we call provide and protect. That means I have to protect the people from what I call the negative influences. We've talked about that before. And then I have to provide for them the system of education, and I have to provide for them an atmosphere where they can grow the fastest, get from point A to B with the shortest period of time and the least amount of effort. And it's called promoting for events. And some of you don't understand this right now, but if you really want to make a full-time income, you better understand this. If you're here to make $300, $400, $500 a month or $1,000 a month, you don't have to go to events. You can exclude yourself from that, and I'm not talking to you right now. But if you're here to become financial, how many of you really would love to be full-time, flush your job, and have a 30-second commute and smash your alarm clocks for the rest of your life? Okay? The key thing is this here. You must come to events. You've got to understand the art of events. The events is not for the upline to make money. It's for you to be able to sustain your organization. The thing that I understand is this. Remember what I said. I want you to look at the 97 percenters and I want you to look at the 3 percenters. See the difference between how the 3 percenters promote and see what the 97 percenters do. How many events do you think Susan Walsh has missed? 0. How many of you love to have her income? How many events do you think Ron has missed? How many of you love to have his income? How many events do you think I missed? How many of you love to have our income? Look at these people, see what they've done, and just duplicate what they've done. Trust me, you can't have 50% of their income by doing 50% of what they did. Doesn't work that way. This is not a linear income, guys. You've got to do the whole deal. And so if there's an event, I want you to understand this. Anybody ever heard that we've got products in this business? Sell them. Make you some money. Never have an excuse of why you can't come to an event. Because that's where people get impacted. That's where people get impacted. That's where the groups grow. That's where you lock people in. That's where your retention ratio stays. That's where people become a family, is at the events. You hear things that you've never heard before. And every single time I see people go to an event, you know what I hear every single time? Man, I wish I had told more people about this event. So now do it in advance. Tell more people about the event before you go. Don't make any excuses about why you can't be there. Go ahead and make a decision and make all the details right. Just go to the events. Just get there. Get your people to events. And remember, build from event to event. Always promote the next event, not the one 3 years down the road. But guess what? We've got a success seminar that's coming up. You should be getting so excited and promoting about the next big function. Now, do you promote for business briefings? Yes, absolutely. You promote for those like crazy. But while you're promoting for those, you promote you promote the small things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and you promote the next big thing. Understand what your calendar is. We have, in February, we're going to have a success seminar. That's what you should be promoting right now. After that, you should be promoting the national like crazy. Remember, guys, there's a difference between employee mentality and wealth mentality. Wealth mentality people promote, and they're already registered. The reason why some of you can't promote because you're not registered. And most of you don't feel like being a hypocrite, so you just keep your mouth shut and don't say anything about events. And what you're doing is poisoning your organization because you're not providing them the atmosphere that's going to make their business grow. The other thing is this, guys. We teach in masses here. See, the reason that we're having this training here is because it's better for me to teach a couple of hundred people, do it one time, than for me to call each and every one of you up individually and try to give you this training on a one-on-one basis. You follow what I'm saying? So why not have thousands of people all at one time getting that synergy, getting that energy, getting that effort? I'm telling you guys, that's what happens. My 12 years in the business, I've never missed an event, ever. Ever, never, ever, 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 ever missed an event in network marketing. I remember when Bobby went to one of his first events. He came back, and I'm giving you an example of somebody who was an incredible promoter of events. But I want to give you a timeline real quick, and I want to share with you, because of that, why his business is where it is right now. See, most people think, okay, well, when I become a platinum or when I become a gold or a diamond or a silver, I'll start promoting like that. No, if you never promote like that, you'll never reach that pin level. What comes first, chicken or the egg? The chicken comes first, not the egg. I can remember this. Bobby was a director, if he was even a director. He went, I think it was convention. Didn't have a big group, had a very, very, very small group. Nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. He came back and was the first, and now he was one of the smallest pins in my organization. He came back and said, hey, listen, the first day, I got 19 people registered for the next event. I want to share something with you guys. 19 people, was a director, making no money. Nobody knew it, just a director. But guess what? Those 19 people went. Those 19 people understood the importance of registering early. And now they picked up a habit of registering early. They picked up the habit and the spirit of how to promote and how to get to events. And so they started promoting. How many people did you end up with at that event? 27. He ended up with 27 people. He probably had somewhere about 40, 50 people in his group. How many people did you have in your group? About 75 people. So he had 75. So he had, 33% of his group that was at an event. Now, this is what happened. He had 27 people there. Those people came, they got fired up, they got juiced up, they got so excited. He called up, I'll never forget, he called up one of the guys over in California last minute, said, hey, you need to be here in Florida. You need to be here. If you're real serious about making a six-figure income and having a lifestyle that you're talking about, you need to be here. He got that person to come, and then that person, that was Joe, and then Joe got Mark to come. Mark had just gotten the business, paid a lot for his plane ticket because it was less than 7 days before he booked it, went to convention. Let me share what happened. Because those two people came. The 27 people came as well, but 2 of the 27 were from California. They understood the importance of events. The first event that they've ever hosted was the power training that Bobby and Regina just did, and they had 114 people at their first power training. Guys, do you understand the power of that? Do you think he's the #1 silver-headed gold right now because he learned this? Or do you think that he learned this because he's the #1 silver-headed gold? It's because he learned this, and he did this is why his income is where it is. Let me give you something even bigger. His group in California have over 40% of the people in their entire group plugged into functions. Over 40%. They don't understand anything else but to promote for an event. Look at every category, even the rookies. They understand how to promote for events. People, now guess what? Just got a call last night. Thursday, they had 95 people at their business briefing with no guest speaker there. Over 30 plus guests that were there. He taught them how to promote for events. Bigger one. We just had a series of power trainings. And in those power trainings, there were around 1,000 people. Over 1,000 people that we had at power trainings around the country, 21 different power trainings. 20% of the people who were at power trainings in the entire company came from his organization. So do you think that you can have 0 people at a function and make this type of income? No. No. Guys, I told Bobby this. Guys, let me share something with you. When you get to the income levels or the pen levels of where we are, I believe that it's going to be bigger. I believe it's going to be better. I believe that you'll make more money than we did. When I was a silver, guess what? I was a silver, and I can remember doing bronze volume. I was a silver, but not qualified as a silver that month. I was qualified only as a bronze that month. We had a power training. Text came down, and we had 40-something people there. I only had 21 people of them. 21 of those 40-something people were in my group. I was a silver. 21 people. Silver here, over 200 people in his organization. Now, we made a decision that we were ready to build. We started building, we started promoting for these events, made a decision, went from silver, but doing bronze volume. 22 days later, we were gold executives in the company. We went from 21 people at a local function to having over 100 in Vegas because we made a decision of what we were going to do, and it came by plugging people into events. The thing I understand is this. After every major event that we have, our income goes up. People are excited. People are fired up. Promote the system, edify the upline. Promote the system, edify the upline. If you're going to make it in this business, it's because you have learned the art of becoming an incredible promoter, and you've learned the art of edification. The events is the lifeline of your business, Get excited about the events. Don't make decisions late. Do what successful people do. They make decisions, and then they make those decisions the right decision.
Congratulations on completing this series. You've just learned what it takes to turn your network marketing business into a cash cow. Let's take this information, learn it, do it, and teach it, and we'll see you at the bank.
While the techniques and approaches suggested here have worked for others, no one can guarantee that they will work for you. We sincerely hope, however, that the ideas presented here will assist